And for Southern University, the last 7 years have been all smiles as they've been able to beat their in-state rivals from Grambling State University to even the Bayou Classic series at 13 wins apiece. Recently, it's been tough times for Grambling, a program which dipped into its storied past for guidance. And in year 3 of the Doug Williams era, it's been a return to glory for the Grambling Tigers. 9 wins this season, but the job won't be complete without a win over the Jaguars. And looming large over the game is the grandfather of college football coaches, former Tigers coach Eddie Robinson, the all-time college football wins leader. It was Robinson who brought black college football to the national spotlight. And the game is just one part of the Bayou Classic. At halftime, showtime begins as it's the Battle of the Bands, the Southern University Human Jukebox, and the never-duplicated Marching Tigers from Grambling. They will strut their stuff and entertain a sold-out Louisiana Superdome.
It's the Bayou Classic next.
NBC Sports presents the 27th annual State Farm Bayou Classic, featuring the Tigers of Grambling State University versus the Jaguars of Southern University. Welcome to the Crescent City, New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz, home of fine cuisine, and site of some of the world's best parties. Thanksgiving weekend is no exception, as the city hosts over 200,000 people who gather here for one of the biggest and best rivalries in all of college football. Rashad, welcome to the Big Easy. Today, rivals Southern and Grambling meet for the 49th time overall and the 27th time in the State Farm Bayou Classic. Now, to show you how hotly contested this series is, coming into today's game, each school has won 13 times here in the Bayou. But Bayou Classic tradition represents more than just a football game. It has become one of the biggest African-American social events in the United States. It pumps millions of dollars into the New Orleans economy each year and gives alumni and fans from all over the country a chance to support football and traditionally black colleges. It is a showcase of black college life, from the bands to the fraternities and the sororities. We will attempt today to bring you some of the flavor throughout our broadcast. The Grambling Tigers enter today's game with the #1 ranking in black college football. Former Super Bowl MVP Doug Williams, in just his 3rd season as head coach, is looking to return his team to the winning tradition he helped build as a player under the legendary coach Eddie Robinson. A 9-1 record this season and a top 20 ranking in Division I AA signal he is well on his way. The Southern Jaguars, on the other hand, have never lost to Grambling under their head coach, former NFL defensive back Pete Richardson. Richardson has built a very successful program in Baton Rouge, winning the last 3 SWAC championships and 7 straight against Grambling here at the Bayou. Southern is 5-5 this season, although they've won 4 of their last 5 games. A victory today would secure Bayou bragging rights for another season and prevent Southern's first losing season in Richardson's 8-year tenure. I will see you throughout the day, bringing you some of the pageantry surrounding the game, but now it's time to send it up to the gentlemen who called today's game, Tom Hammond and John Dockery. Tom?
All right, Ahmad, thank you very much. Happy to be back for another Bayou Classic. And, John, this does look like a classic, a potent offense against a stout defense. We talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane. We're talking about fast break. We're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense at midseason. He has a big-time weapon in Michael Hayes, 76 catches, 14 touchdowns. Hayes, a little like Randy Moss, 6'5", 210 pounds, likes to go up and take the ball away from defensive backs.
And Southern is the hot team. As Ahmad mentioned, they've won 4 of their last 5. But they'll face a tough Grambling defense today, a defense that sees its strength right in the middle, the linebackers.
They call them the terrific trio, Guidry, Taylor, and Dukes. And George Guidry leads that pack. He has 11 sacks out of the 37 that the team has, and they're coming after the quarterback. Interesting cat and mouse game today. Can the Southern quarterback get rid of the ball in time before this voracious defense eats them alive?
Well, Grambling is ranked 9-1, ranked #1 in black college football, but they have lost 7 straight in the Bayou Classic. Grambling and Southern, we're back for the Bayou kickoff in just a moment. The New Orleans Superdome and the Bayou Classic, the State Farm Bayou Classic, matching Grambling and Southern. The 49th meeting between the two schools. Southern with a narrow edge, and since they've been calling it the Bayou Classic, all knotted up at 13 apiece. Pete Richardson has never lost in the Bayou Classic. He is 7-0. In fact, in the Superdome, he is 7-1. And Doug Williams has revived Grambling football to the extent that he is ranked #1 in black college football, 9-1, also amongst the leaders in overall 1AA college football.
Tom, kind of ironic that Doug Williams, as a player, was 4-0 in this Bayou Classic. As a coach, he's 0-2. He said earlier that, you know, it's a new millennium. It's about time we break that 7-game jinx.
Both Doug Williams and Pete Richardson, highly successful players with NFL roots. Grambling kicks to Southern to open the game. Nemesis Bates of Southern has returned a kick 98 yards this season for a touchdown. This time they'll kick it away from Bates, and Southern will take over just shy of the 30-yard line after a 21-yard return by Herbert Johnson. And here's the Southern starting lineup with Green, Jenkins, Briscoe, Small, and Harold, the offensive line. Terrence Levy is the quarterback. He has hit 57% of his passes, over 1,800 yards. Dane Lewis, 3 wide receiver set, Lewis, Jobert, and Hayes to begin. And Dowell, the tight end. From the shotgun, Terrence Levy's first pass is complete to Devin Lewis. And Lewis, close to the first down, twisted to the ground by George Guidry. Here's the hurry-up Southern offense, the no-huddle offense. Levy gets them right up to the line of scrimmage as the pass to Lewis was good enough for a first down, gain of 11. Again from the shotgun. Levy sets and delivers, and again the man open. This is Hayes, and Hayes has another first down across the 45 to the Grambling 44. This is the Grambling defense: Johnson, Gray, Lawrence, and Williams. The tough linebackers, Guidry, Taylor, and Dukes we mentioned. Addison, Spears, Williams, and Pearson will get a workout in the secondary today. That last pass for 18 yards and a first down.
It's like football in cleats. 5 wide receivers for Southern. They come out throwing the ball as expected. Shotgun. Like
fast break basketball. Levy had to retreat from the pocket and completes the pass, his 3rd in a row. This one for a shorter gain to Dane Lewis. 402 or 3 yards. Calvin Spears made sure he went out of bounds.
You know, for Southern, it's been almost a tale of 2 seasons. When Levy took over at quarterback in midseason, they were 1-4. When he took over, they've gone 4-1 now, so Levy has made a huge difference.
Levy, the hero of last year's Bayou, coming in relief and leading the Jaguars to victory. Here's Devin Lewis. He is out of bounds after another reception. Calvin Pearson made him go out of bounds. There's the turnaround behind Terrence Levy.
And look at the numbers. The average yards, 551 yards, almost 41 points a game. Levy has made it happen.
Levy has hit all 4 of his passes so far. 4 for 4, driving the Jaguars down the field. Ball is at the Grambling 32-yard line, opening series of the game. And Levy perfect so far. From the gun and rolling to his right, here's another completion. And knocked out of bounds short of the first down is Tony Ingram, the tight end, with Byron Addison putting him out. Well, and spraying the ball around to everyone.
Spraying the ball around. Boy, they don't waste any time. It's almost like playing the St. Louis Rams. They come out throwing. You know what they're going to do. But unless you press, you have to press some as a defensive team. You can't just allow them to throw. As the field gets compressed down here, Tom, it's tougher to run that offense because there's less for the defensive backs to cover. And you see some press on the lower corner here.
5 wide receivers. Levy in the shotgun. Plenty of time. He went right to the line of scrimmage, then looked to the bench for the play. That's a quarterback draw. Terrence Levy bounces to the outside, caught from behind and dropped at the 18-yard line by Denmark Reed. But it is another Southern first down, this time on the ground with Levy on the quarterback draw.
And Levy, of course, was a hero last year when he came back. I mean, last year, Grambling was ahead 31-10, 27 unanswered points in the second half by Southern, gave them a 37-31 victory. Levy was the man who came in to spark that attack.
Troy Williams had dislocated his hip, so Levy got the call and directed them to victory. Here's the first rushing play to a running back. Dane Lewis carries, stopped by Robert Taylor.
The last two games are like a season for most quarterbacks. Look at those. Total yards, 460. Look at the touchdowns. 8 touchdowns, only 2 INTs. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes, Tom.
8th play of the drive coming up from the 17 of Grambling. It's 2nd and 9. Levy with plenty of time throws it away. Well, we've been talking about that Bayou Classic and the unbelievable, really, comeback by Southern, down 31-10 at halftime, and Terrence Levy came in to replace Troy Williams, and it was an amazing comeback.
It certainly was, and a smart play by Terrence Levy, the quarterback for Southern, on that last throw. He had no one open. Coverage was tighter. He simply threw it away.
3rd and 9 for the Jaguars. Again, 5 wides. Levy, plenty of time. Crossing pattern complete to Gayen. Gayen fights to the 5-yard line. Robert Taylor wrestles him down, but Gayen, with that extra effort, picks up the first down in a 12-yard gain.
Extra effort, good run by Gayen, but also some poor tackling by the Grambling defense. He caught that ball. He would not have had a first down had a tackle been made, but yet he was able to struggle forward and pick up the first down. Defense is unsettled, Tom. When you have this fast break offense, there's no time for substitution. There's no time to regroup.
They do get their goal line defense in here now, I guess, but Southern still spreading the field. 1st and goal from the 5. Here's the pitch. Lewis for the touchdown. Dane Lewis on the pitch from Levy. A 5-yard touchdown run.
The threat of the quarterback running makes this play. Watch the quarterback. He starts out to the near side. All right, you see number 47 coming up to try to make the play. It doesn't happen. Guidry has to respect that, pitches it out. Lewis has an easy touchdown.
Now the extra point from Justin Mattingly. Picks it up, and it is good. Impressive drive to open the game, but the Southern Jaguars, we're pouring water on the stats up here. They're burning up. The Jaguars marching down the field to take a 7-0 lead in the State Farm Bayou Classic with 12:50 left in the opening quarter from New Orleans. Dane Lewis with the touchdown run.
To you by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. By Coca-Cola Classic. Enjoy the holidays. By Burger King. Got the urge? And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, Fred Rogan back at the Superdome in New Orleans. Grambling is now trailing 7-0 in the game. And no, Coach Williams said we could talk to him during the game. That's the thing.
Let me talk to him.
All right, well, we're going to let Coach Williams go because I think we shouldn't be talking to him during the game. We'll get back to him soon. Tom and Doc, back to you.
I wouldn't want to tangle with him right now, Fred, because he has seen the Jaguars go 72 yards in 10 plays. Look at that, 2 minutes and 10 seconds as Levy hit 6 of 7. Here's the Southern kickoff by Villagrana. And taken with a big hit on special teams after a 15-yard return by Shalimar Armstrong. And the Grambling offense now takes the field. Livingston Riley with Matevia. Thomas and Jackson up front. Himes the quarterback. Hill gets the running back start. And the fullback, primarily a blocker, Boudouin, with Anderson and Spears. Anderson, the all-time leading receiver in Grambling history. Keep your eye on him, number 1. He's lined up wing back to the bottom of the formation. And now in motion. And it's a give to Brad Hill. And the tailback gets about 5 yards on first down, tackled by Robert Chapman. Landry, Johnson, Mays, and Hurst. Chapman, who just made that tackle. Green and Francois, the linebackers, with Williams, Arnold, Overton, and Edrice Brown, a real standout for the Southern defense in his 3rd year as a starter, and twice has been all-conference. Second down and 4 for Grambling. Again, it's Anderson trotting in motion. And the same play. Brad Hill has a Grambling first down across the 30-yard line. Ed Reese Brown makes the tackle for the Jags.
What a difference in philosophy from Pete Richardson and Southern. Come out, throw the ball, fast break, let's do it. Doug Williams trying to regroup. He's running the ball, and I admire Fred Rogan on the sidelines trying to talk to Doug Williams after that drive, which must have put him in shock.
7-0 Southern after they took 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go 72 yards. First pass from Himes, the quarterback, and he sails it for Anderson down the sideline, and it's intercepted. Sean Overton, the free safety, as they double-teamed Anderson, and Overton picks it off, his second interception of the season.
Just when we were talking about patience and Doug Williams, what do they try to do? They try to steal one. Himes tries to go deep down the sideline to his go-to man, Scotty Anderson. Now, Anderson's 6'3", about 190 pounds. I guess he figured Anderson could go up and get it, but no, they were playing a zone. Overton came over from his free safety and makes the interception.
Grambling normally takes advantage of the turnovers, tops in the conference in turnover margin. They commit one here. It'll be Southern's ball when we return. Log on to MSNBCSports.com and vote for the Black College Player of the Year. Plus, take our special State Farm Bayou Classic quiz to read the interesting reflections of Southern's Pete Richardson, who looks back on his perfect 7-0 record coaching the Jaguars in the Bayou Classic. MSNBCSports.com, official website of NBC Sports. After the interception, the Jaguars leading 7-0, take over with a first down on their own 24-yard line. From the shotgun, Terrence Levy sacked back at the 10 by the blitzing linebacker Robert Taylor. For Taylor, his 7th sack of the season.
And Taylor is the middle linebacker, and they came with 3 or 4 people. You see Taylor right up the middle coming to get the quarterback. And that's what they have to do. If you give Levy any time whatsoever, he'll rip you apart like he did in that first drive. You know, the 3 linebackers we talked about, Dukes, Taylor, and Guidry, they are the guts of this Grambling defense.
They call him Big Dog. Taylor, the Birmingham native, with the sack for a loss of 13. 2nd and 23. Levy rolling to his left. Completes the pass, but for a short gain only to the 15-yard line. Guyen dropped immediately by Antoine Lawrence.
Good idea by the Southern offense. Roll a little away from the pressure. Try to buy your quarterback some time. He got the completion, but not for much.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 21. Levy has hit 7 of 8 so far. Levy communicating with the sideline there. He's got a 5 wide receiver set. In an empty backfield, he's in the gun. Pressure. Pass over the middle is intercepted. Picked off by Reed. And Denmark Reed still fighting for yardage. He's going to be ruled down anyway. He'll be ruled down at about the 28-yard line. But we told you Grambling leads the conference in turnover margin, a plus 14 on the season. And they get it back on the interception by Denmark Reed.
This is the pressure that causes this interception. Take a look at the pressure from both corners. On the outside, the pressure's coming. And then he just overthrows his receiver down the middle, and it's an easy interception for the free safety.
This is a family affair for Reed. His brother is the sports information at Southern, as the former running back picks off the Southern pass and puts his Grambling Tigers in scoring position. First down from the 28. Randy Himes, the quarterback. First down pass. Protection. Chases him from the pocket now. Fakes the throw, tucks it under, and nice run down to the 15-yard line. Finally chased down by Antonio Mays, but not until he gained 13 yards and a Grambling first down.
And when you talk to Doug Williams, he talks about Randy Himes' athletic ability. He's a big quarterback, 6'4", 205 pounds. Here he's looking downfield, he's waiting, doesn't find anyone, then scrambles and takes it upfield. One of the problems that he's had all year has been sacks, Tom. He's been sacked a whole bunch of times, 34 to be exact. That time he avoided the rush and picked up the first down.
Ball at the 15 of Southern. The Jaguars leading 7-0. Four wide receivers set, three to the bottom of the screen. Hand it to Hill, and Brad Hill gets nothing. Thrown back with Landrick Francois, the linebacker, joined by Antonio Mays as they combine to throw Hill for a loss of a yard.
They're just trying to keep the defense honest and then running the ball up the middle as Doug Williams is looking to balance his offense. Randy Himes is not the same as his opposition quarterback, Terrence Levy. He's not the kind of a thrower. He's just growing as a quarterback. Ironic that last year in the Bayou Classic, he was actually a wide receiver and caught a few touchdowns, Tom.
Randy Himes did have 2 touchdown catches in the Bayou last season. This season, he's hitting 47% of his passes, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, now 8. And with time running down, Grambling takes a timeout. They're trying to even the score. They trail 7-0. This moment is brought to you by Daimler Chrysler. Doug Williams, returning to his alma mater, has seen them make steady improvement over his 3-year reign, including in defense. The points allowed have improved dramatically. There is Doug Williams, the hero of Super Bowl 22 when he was the Washington Redskins quarterback. 7-0, Southern leads Grambling. The Tigers have it 2nd and 11 from the Southern 16-yard line. Himes, the quarterback, retreats to pass. And now will run it. Sees a big lane. Broke 1 tackle at the line of scrimmage and waltzed into the end zone for the touchdown. Himes, 16 yards for the score.
Doug Williams has worked with his quarterback on this, Tom. When he sees an opening, he says, run north and south. Run up the field. Don't scramble east and west. He's done a lot of that over the years. He's finally learning that when you see the opening in the middle, take it upfield. Don't take it outside. That's what he does here for the touchdown.
His first running touchdown. And Himes looked to be fired up as he took it into the end zone. He's carried twice now for 28 yards, and the extra point from Lawrence Richmond, and it's up and through. And the State Farm Bayou Classic all tied up thanks to the scrambling run by Himes, who's still feeling the effects of this touchdown scamper. 7-7, Grambling and Southern in the first. 7-7, Randy Himes scrambling into the end zone for the Tigers' first score. And number 44, Richmond, getting ready to kick it off after the interception led to the 3-play, 28-yard scoring drive. Bates and Johnson are the deep men. That's Bates, the dangerous one. And this will be Bates from the 5. Good coverage by the Grambling special teams. Stopped to the 15 by Denmark Reed, who had the interception. Only an 11-yard return. And as we mentioned, Himes, the Grambling quarterback, but last year was wide receiver for the Tigers here at the Bayou and caught 2 TD passes in the second quarter, helping them to that 31-10 halftime lead, a lead that, as it turned out, did not hold up. But Himes now has scored touchdowns passing, receiving, and his first running one just a moment ago.
And Randy Himes talking about the value of that experience yesterday. So he learned what a receiver had to do in terms of running routes, learned what defensive backs, their biggest problems too. So it was a good experience, a receiver experience for Himes.
How great is it to have a quarterback coach? Tipped ball is caught by Hayes. Michael Hayes has the speed. Hayes to the 10. Touchdown. 86 yards.
That's number 4, Calvin Spears on Hayes, and Hayes is 5 inches bigger. The ball is tipped by Spears. Look at the concentration by Hayes, picks it off and goes all the way for the touchdown.
His 15th receiving touchdown of the season. The extra point by Mattingly makes it 14-7 Southern. Hayes now with 2 catches, 103 yards, including that 86-yard strike. Spears tips it. Hayes grabs it, and he is off to the races. Nobody's going to catch him. One play, 86 yards, 14-7. We don't need a recount. You might miss something. An 86-yard touchdown catch. Michael Hayes keeps his string alive of having caught a touchdown pass in every game this season. Lloyd and Clay deep, awaiting Villagrana's kickoff. Sort of a squib kick, and it will be Lloyd. Just almost stepped out of bounds, and then is rocked at the 15-yard line by Shalimar Armstrong, his second special teams tackle. Well, Fred Rogan has gone from the Grambling sideline after tangling with Doug Williams over to the Southern sideline, where things might be a bit more hospitable considering the score. Fred?
All right, Tom, thanks for the Michael Hayes. Michael, talk about that touchdown.
Well, it was just a fade route. The ball got tipped. I was able to go up and get it and take it to the house.
Once you caught it, did you realize how far you had to go?
Well, before the play, I knew what yard line we was on, but once I caught the ball, I just saw green grass.
Did you surprise yourself with that?
No, I knew I could make plays.
You made a big one there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that's Mike. All right, Tom, at least I didn't get thrown into Superdome jail this time. Back to you.
All right, Fred. First down run by Brad Hill, tackled by Jabari Green, as Grambling tries to answer the Southern score.
You know, talking about Michael Hayes, I think what it simply was, Southern saw the opportunity. Calvin Spears, the Grambling defensive back, was pressing the big man. There's a 5-inch differential there. They saw it and just threw it up, and Michael Hayes, like Randy Moss, we talked at the top of the show, went up and got it, took it 86 yards for the touchdown.
Took it to the house in the big house, the Superdome. Again, it's Hill. And he's twisted down at the 20, only got a couple of yards. Antonio Mays jamming up the center of that Southern defensive line. Mays, the 5th leading tackler on the Jaguar defense, and has 3 sacks as well. Brad Hill's been the workhorse on the ground for the Grambling Tigers. That was his 5th carry. He's gained 16 yards. So Doug Williams and the Tigers facing a 3rd and 5. Washington in the backfield, the only backfield, and the catch made by Levi Washington, and Washington close to midfield, and a Grambling first down, 28-yard gain. First reception by Levi Washington, the 2nd leading receiver for the Tigers, his 38th reception of the season.
Interesting, they came with 4 wide receivers, but they put Washington right there in the backfield, and then sent him out. Just an easy throw for Himes. Washington does the rest to pick up the first down.
Naaman Rogers finally chased him down, and now it's first down Grambling from their own 49-yard line. We've seen a lot of fireworks. We're still in the first quarter. 6:20 to go in the opening period from the Bayou Classic. Anderson's in motion. Himes quickly tosses it to him, and the receiver screen, and it gets him about 5 yards before he's tracked down by Jabari Green.
2 of the best wide receivers in the SWAC conference, Scotty Anderson and Michael Hayes, and you see the comparison there. 55 receptions for Anderson, 76 for Hayes. Look at the average per game. How about that? 100 yards a game. That's big time for a receiver.
Yeah, 2 of the best, not only in the SWAC, but in all of Division I AA football, and dare we say, in all of college football throughout the country.
And 2 of the best with a future, Tom. Both of them are real pro prospects.
Anderson in motion again. Draw play, the handoff to Hill. And Hill inside the 45, down to the 44. Francois Green, the linebackers. It'll bring up a 3rd down for the Tigers.
You know, you talked to Doug, sorry, Tom, you talked to Doug Williams, and he mentioned Scotty Anderson in the same breath as some of the great wide receivers that have played here at Grambling. I mean, Frank Lewis, Tremaine Johnson, Sammy White. He says Scotty Anderson is probably as good as, if not better than, all of those great players.
And all of those had a professional impact as well. Hines on 3rd and 3. Short drop, the pass tall and incomplete, intended for Spears. And the pass a little high from Hines, defended by Terrence Arnold. It'll bring up a 4th down.
You know, this pass appeared, it's just a simple slant-in pattern to the 6'3" Spears, and he can't pull it down. That's a catchable ball.
So Altrevia Jobert will be deep, awaiting the punt from Richmond. There's Jobert, standing at his 10. It's a fake. This direct snap to the up man, and a Grambling first down. Kelvin Pearson, who was lined up as the personal protector for the punter, got the direct snap and has a first down before Ed Reese-Brown tackles him. Doug Williams is hot about something on the sideline. I don't see any flags down.
You wonder if he wanted a flag at the end of that play on Pearson. That might be what he's calling for. I don't see any flags now. It's a first down, but tackle near that sideline. Who knows? Let's take another look at it. Carrying the ball in the wrong hand. He could use that inside hand to block someone up. But watch the tackle here. Was it excessive? Doug Williams thought so.
Well, give Pearson a break. You know he is a defensive back, John. The ball in the wrong hand.
But for all the young players out there, you want that ball in your left hand here so that inside arm is open to ward off tacklers. Look at Doug Williams. He's saying, give me that penalty. Come on.
And the trick play goes for 10 yards and a Grambling first down. Hines for the end zone, underthrew it, picked off by Overton. Sean Overton, a convoy of blockers, tackled at the 35 after his second interception of the game. Hines had a man wide open and underthrew it.
He had him wide open. He had Ellis Spears on the post. He just underthrew this ball badly. He was tentative, laid it up there in the free safety. Overton picks off his second of the afternoon.
Well, you like that free safety to sort of play center field, and Overton picks off his second pass of the first quarter.
But, Tom, you saw where both defensive backs were in front of the wide receiver. Had the ball been thrown up and away, that was a touchdown for Grambling.
Instead, it's Overton's second interception. This gives the ball to Southern at their own 35. The Jaguars leading Grambling 14-7. And we're still in the first quarter with 4:27 remaining. Levy whips it over the head of his intended receiver, Jobert, and incomplete, while Hines is getting a chewing out from his coach, Doug Williams, on the sideline after blowing what would have been a touchdown, instead throwing the interception.
Doug Williams, of course, knows something about quarterbacking. I mean, come on, MVP in the Super Bowl, MVP in the Bayou Classic 27 years ago. He is the quarterback coach at Grambling now.
Memo to Fred Rogan, do not go to the Grambling sideline just now. The police might look friendly compared to Doug. Draw play, Dane Lewis. Lewis twisting and turning, crosses the 40 to the 42 with Willie Gray and George Guidry hanging on.
Doug knows that his quarterback is an outstanding athlete. He plays basketball for Grambling. He's on the track team. He just hasn't comprehended the entire game yet. Doesn't read that well and threw a poor pass, 2 poor passes today.
3rd and 4. Here is Guyen with the reception and the first down. Shakes one tackler. Still going inside the 30. Guyen to the 10 and dragged out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Haywood Guyen shaking tacklers down the sideline for 61 yards.
Should have been a pick call on Dane Lewis, who actually picked a defender on that play. If you take a look on this replay, look for number 40, right here, number 40. Now watch him. See what he does here? The ball is in the air. He blocks the defender. And then, of course, what a great run. Talk about shaking off tacklers.
Well, they got away with the illegal screen with a pick. And Guyen turns it into a long gainer. It's first and goal from the 4. And Dane Lewis has his second touchdown. Can these guys strike in a hurry or what?
Well, in the last 5 games, Tom, we talked about, they've been averaging 41 points and over 500 yards in total offense, and they're showing the reason why today. This is just wide open. Great choices by the quarterback. This is a simple running play. This is a shocker for them, and probably just shocked the Grambling defense. Oh, my goodness, they're actually going to run the ball. Touchdown.
The extra point is good by Mattingly from the hold of Overton, whose interception set up another Southern touchdown. Himes throwing the interception. Southern converts it to points and ups their lead to 21-7. Dane Lewis now 4 carries, 17 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And this is not the position, obviously, that Doug Williams wants to be in. He doesn't have that wide-open, high-powered offense that can put a lot of points on the board. He doesn't have a confident quarterback. So being behind 21-7 this early is something that's really difficult. If it were the other way around, you know, if the Jaguars behind Southern, then it'd be a different situation.
And the defensive hero so far has been Sean Overton of Southern. 2 interceptions. And twice converted into touchdowns.
2 gifts from the quarterback, Randy Himes.
Still 3:35 to go, first quarter.
And remember, Grambling is 9-1. They won the Western Division of the SWAC. They play in the championship game next week. And, you know, so this is a shocker for Grambling.
Let's check in with Fred Rogan, who is sticking close to the Jaguars at the moment.
Wise man.
Hi, Tom. Thanks very much. Haywood Guyen, the long reception to set up the touchdown. At this point, you are running the ball at will and moving the ball at will against Grambling.
Yeah, we're moving the ball at will because we got big players like Michael Hayes. That deep threat got running backs such as Dane Lewis and Elvis Joseph. And by that, we got a double threat. So now they don't know which way to go. They don't know if they want to block, get run pursuit, or they want to go for the pass. And now that's how we move the ball at will.
All right, Haywood, thanks a lot. Tom, Doc.
All right, Fred. David Bieniemy. The special teams of the Jaguars have been tough so far. William Lloyd at his own goal line and wrapped by Bieniemy.
It's just a reflection of their coach's attitude. Pete Richardson, talking to him yesterday, had a little bit of an edge. He's 5-5, not interested in a losing season, and wants to continue his streak here of 7 straight. This would be his 8th win in the Bayou Classic. It was very serious yesterday when we talked to him.
Grambling first down at their own 15. And the handoff is to Michael Young. His first carry of the game gets him out to the 20. About a 5-yard gain on first down. Idris Brown, the tackle. Well, as you know, it's been a dream season for Tiger Woods, winning 3 of 4 majors, completing the career Grand Slam in only 4 years on the PGA Tour. And now Tiger's back on NBC with the top 12 golfers in the world in the Williams World Challenge. Coverage begins next Saturday at 3 Eastern here on NBC. Second down, about 4 for Himes, who hands off to Young again. And Young will have a first down to the 25-yard line, where Jabari Green makes the tackle. There is a penalty marker down.
Offsides, Grambling, left side of the offensive line.
This will be, I believe, the first penalty of the game.
Dead ball, off start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So that will negate Young's first down run.
You take a look at the left tackle there. He's a little edgy, getting off too soon. And that was number 62, Frank Livingston.
So that'll make it second down and 9 now for Doug Williams and the Tigers, with the ball just across the Grambling 15-yard line.
Look at those total yards, 213 for Southern, 96 for Grambling.
Well, they get them in chunks, too.
Don't they? Oh, my God. Michael Hayes, 86-yard touchdown.
Himes. Again throws it high, try, but Anderson is able to go up and haul it in. And it will be a Grambling first down at the 30, a 15-yard gain. Jabari Green, the linebacker, matched up on Scotty Anderson. A mismatch Grambling would like to see more often.
You know, Scotty Anderson is just so smooth coming over the middle on the post. He's the all-time school reception leader. Just makes the catch with his hands. First down.
There is Scotty Anderson, who holds virtually all the Grambling receiving records. Needs 6 today to set another, which would be the senior receiving record. Michael Young stacked up at the line of scrimmage by Antonio Mays. There's Big Mays, 255 pounds, from Waterloo, Iowa.
And Mays in the middle. He started last year. They had trouble with their defensive line. Southern did. They lost a lot to graduation, and he's waving up to someone in the stand.
I think to the big screen. He saw his face on the big screen.
But it's ironic that a defensive tackle, a big man like Mays, 6'3", 260, is also their best pass rusher.
You know, I said it's 2nd down and 10 now after said he might have gotten a yard. He actually lost a half yard. A center screen attempted to Young, and Antonio Mays right in the middle of things again to break it up.
That comes with experience. I mean, Mays is a senior. He's been a guy who's played on that defensive line, and here he smells something. So he tries to get off the block and then sees something, and he's right in the correct place to make that hit. Just as well, Michael Young didn't catch it.
Yeah, it was
a couple of yard loss.
It would be a loss anyway. Yeah. But it does set up a 3rd down and 10 from the 30. 4 wide receiver set. Hines. This pass to Anderson caught somehow with 3 blue jerseys around him. Somehow Scotty Anderson held on with Terrence Arnold and Andrees Brown knocking him to the turf. Gain of 14 and a Grambling first down.
Scotty Anderson's favorite pattern is the comeback. And he has that kind of concentration. While the defensive backs were simply standing around, Anderson just stepped in, held the ball, used his body, and made the catch.
And Himes able to thread it in there. Scotty Anderson's brothers, Stevie and Anthony, both played at Grambling. Both went on to the NFL. On first down, Himes under pressure. Rolls free, and now delivers downfield, complete to the 39-yard line. Levi Washington goes down to make the reception. A gain of 17 and another Grambling first down.
Nice. He rolled away from the pressure, looking downfield, sign of some maturity and growth in the young quarterback, and finds Washington coming across the field wide open.
First down Grambling, closing seconds of the opening quarter. Have we just played 1 quarter? We're already out of pencils and paper, writing down all the big gaining plays. Chads are flying all over the place up here. Himes, able to duck free. Himes finally is sacked back at the 45, a flag down. Byron Hurst collared him to the turf, but there is a penalty marker.
And you wonder if that is the flag that Doug Williams didn't get earlier. You know, when he was complaining along the sideline, that time it looks like it's going to be against number 91, Byron Hurst.
Face mask violation against Southern.
Face mask, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Take a look at the end of this play. Byron Hurst coming in. See his right hand grab that face mask. He lets it go. And he just pulls from behind.
That's the proper call, though. Yep. He touched it, but then let it go. That's why it's only 5 yards. And then makes the tackle. Correct call. Pete Richardson doesn't believe so. Now, no time shows on the clock for the first quarter, as Richardson continues to get an explanation.
Well, why wouldn't they switch it? Isn't that they're going into the second quarter?
Well, I don't think the quarter can end on a defensive penalty.
And that's what the conversation is about.
So, in effect, a free play at the end of the first quarter. Himes with a handoff to Young. Michael Young cut down after a yard gain by Joshua Davis. And that should bring the first quarter to a close. A first quarter that saw plenty of offensive fireworks. The State Farm Bayou Classic, Grambling and Southern at the end of the first quarter. Southern leads 21-7. We'll be right back after these words from your local station. It's brought to you by Coors Light, frost brewed and real smooth. And the Southern offense was real smooth. I had to laugh when I saw that time of possession.
I know, look at that time of possession. Sure, Grambling's had the ball for 10:07. Southern only 4:53, but it doesn't take them long to score. 21-7. Look at that other possession. I mean, 213 total yards, and turnovers really have hurt Grambling. Those 2 interceptions by Randy Himes.
We open the second quarter. It's 2nd and 4 for Grambling. As Himes being chased is passed through the hands of the intended receiver, Jesse. Gershon Jesse could not quite hold on.
Pressure coming from the defense. Himes has to roll out, and Jesse got his hands on it. A tough catch, but certainly was one that could have been made. And Doug Williams is talking about his quarterback, Himes. He says he's excellent throwing on the run. He makes some amazing throws. He's got such a strong arm and so much athletic ability. Not a great day so far. 5 of 10, 80 yards, 2 interceptions down. Bad throws.
Both leading to Southern scores. 3rd down and 4. Washington in motion. Here's Himes. Across the middle and complete. Rashawn, the tight end, has it for a first down. So Grambling converts on 3rd. The tackle made by Francois and Evans. But the big tight end, Rashid Rashawn from Pomona, California, 240 pounds, hangs on to the ball.
A little bit of a shocker because seldom does Grambling throw their tight end. This time they have the big target, 6'5", 240. Rashawn in the middle. It's only his 5th catch of the year. Picks up the first down.
Ball advanced to the 24-yard line of Southern. The Jaguars leading 21-7. Opening minute of the second quarter in the Bayou Classic. Himes looks to the end zone, and this time he does not underthrow. Washington with a touchdown catch. 24 yards. Washington again gets behind the defense, and this time Himes hits him for the touchdown.
This time Himes stood in the pocket. He did not have edgy feet, and he just laid the ball over the top and allowed his receiver, Washington, to just go and get it. That's a nice touch.
3rd catch of the day for Levi Washington. It's gone for 71 yards, and that touchdown as Lawrence Richmond. And the flags fly.
Offside. Defense. That's the distance of the goal. Retrack.
Pete Richardson saw his Jaguars hurt by a penalty, a face mask penalty on that Grambling drive. Now looks on as the offsides call goes against him. Lawrence Richmond will send it on its way. Morrison the holder. And Richmond's boot is on target. And so Grambling is able to get a little closer. It's 21-14, still 14-11 remaining till halftime in the State Farm Bayou Classic, way down yonder in New Orleans.
And
annual State Farm Bayou Classic is brought to you by Coors Light, official beer of the Bayou Classic. By MinorityAmerica.com, the total solution for B2B connections. By the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to the 27th annual State Farm Bayou Classic from New Orleans. Now, if you're a newcomer to the Bayou Classic, you may not be aware that halftime is when the real show begins. There will not be an empty seat in this house as the marching bands from Grambling and Southern take the field. Two of the best marching bands in the land perform in the Southwest Airlines Battle of the Bands. It is guaranteed to be a great show. Southwest Airlines is proud to be the title sponsor of this year's Battle of the Bands. Also coming up at the half, we'll have scores and highlights from our New York studio, as well as an NBC News Florida election update. That's all coming up at the half. Now let's send it back up to Tom Hammond and John Dockery.
All right, Ahmad, as we await the Battle of the Bands, and by the way, we thumbs up on the new look, on the goatee look.
If the halftime show has fireworks of this show, I mean, 35 points scored so far. We're only beginning the second quarter time.
And Richmond with the kickoff, tracked down by Bates. And Bates sailing up the sideline, dodging his way forward, and finally tackled at the 28-yard line. We told you Bates earlier this season had a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. This one goes for 19 yards after Grambling was able to drive it down the field to pull back within a touchdown. Here's a look at Levi Washington, who scored the touchdown on his third catch of this first half. Now buckle up because Southern back on offense.
5 wide receivers.
And they'll run it with Jobert. And Grambling was ready for that. Got only a yard. Look at this. Talk about time of possession. This is how quickly they can strike. That 2-minute, 10-second drive we were laughing about earlier, how short it was. It was the longest of the day.
How about Michael Hayes catching one ball, going 86 yards for a touchdown, took a total of 21 seconds.
I didn't realize he was that slow.
Right.
Levy gonna run with it. Dodging and tackled from behind at the 32-yard line by Terrence Dukes. Also getting a piece of the tackle was Lonnie Walker.
This is a smart play by the quarterback. Everybody's covered downfield. He just tucks it away and doesn't make a mistake. Turnovers are what turn games around, and this quarterback doesn't make many of them. You just look at his touchdown to interception ratio, and it's about 5-to-1. Touchdowns to every interception.
2 minutes going by, second quarter, third down and 2. Levy had some mustard on that one. That bounced off 2 or 3 players before it fell incomplete. Hayes, the intended receiver, and defended by Pearson.
Hayes takes a hit at the end of this play. The ball had some juice on it, and it was catchable, and right through his hands. Hit his shoulder pads, bounced away, and then he took a big hit.
I think it kind of went through Pearson's hands first, which sort of ruined the timing for Hayes. As a receiver, it's tough to have that ball, even though you may not see it, that it was tipped. It really does interfere. Here is Washington, deep to await the punt from Mattingly. Place kicker also punts for Southern, and Mattingly has a good one. Washington from the 23, trying to get to the outside, nothing doing. Again, good special teams coverage by the Southern Jaguars. Only a 4-yard return after the punt covered 46. We'll take a break. Southern leads by 7. Welcome back to the Superdome, where earlier today the legendary Eddie Robinson and his wife Doris came onto the field before the game and honored with induction into the Louisiana Superdome Hall of Fame. The banner hanging from the rafters here, unveiled today for college football's all-time winningest coach.
What a career. 408 victories for Eddie Robinson, and really the man that's the most associated with Grambling. So many great players, and look at that. 408 wins, as I just mentioned. I mean, 57 years at the university. I mean, he's just 17 SWAC championships, 9 national black college championships. He did it all, Tom.
Well, his tenure covering covering the decades of the 40s to the 90s. That's really unbelievable that all the changes in our society in those times, and Eddie Robinson around for all of them, turning out not only excellent football players year after year, but quality young men as well. Here's Himes standing in the pocket and then throwing incomplete over the head of Levi Washington and taking a hit as he unloaded the ball from Antonio Mays. Himes 7 of 13. And the one touchdown, but the two interceptions both turned into touchdowns by the Jaguars. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Grambling State Tigers.
Interesting that Doug Williams was talking about this game, and next week he's playing the SWAC championship, and he doesn't wear a Super Bowl ring. He said, hey, the only ring I want to wear now is the one I win with these guys when I win the SWAC championship.
They'll be playing in the SWAC championship, Legion Field in Birmingham next Saturday. Himes pass to Washington, who was wide open in the center of the Southern defense, and he totes it down to the 48 of the Jaguars, a 20-yard gain. Washington on the receiving end from Randy Himes, tackled by Edrice Brown.
Any quarterback will tell you the easiest throw is right down the middle in here, and that's what Himes does. He finds his receiver, number 28, Levi Washington, in the zone, delivers the ball. It's an easy throw, Tom. It's a short throw, an easy throw.
And Frank Livingston apparently is injured on the play. There he is, being tended to. He's Grambling offensive tackle.
You talk about Frank Livingston as being their best offensive lineman, senior. He's the anchor of that offensive line, playing the left tackle position.
Number 62 is Livingston.
You see him right there behind the quarterback. You'll see Frank Livingston right. His own player rolls up on him right there.
And Livingston, the 300-pounder from Little Rock, limping to the sideline. He'll be replaced by Wendell Alvin, a sophomore, 6'4", 290 pounds, from Riviera Beach, Florida. There's number 71, Alvin. First down, Grambling at the 49 of Southern. Washington in motion. Handoff to the running back Young, and Michael Young to the 45-yard line. The Tigers' leading ground gainer on the season, Trey White, the son of Sammy White, the former pro standout and Grambling standout, who is an assistant coach with the Tigers. Trey White is the top rusher on the season, but has had an injured, a partially torn ACL, and if he does play today, it'll be only in spot situation.
Doug Williams said he did practice during the week, and he might see some action, but that knee is not 100%.
Washington in motion. Himes again goes to the center for a completion to Anderson. Fumble, but let's see if he was ruled down or not. I thought he was down.
So did I. I thought the whistle blew.
He will be ruled down. Grambling will have a first down at the Southern 35. Francois and Brown converged on Scotty Anderson, but the ball came out as he hit the ground.
These are just timing plays. This is just a quick post over the middle. Himes delivers the ball on time, and the rhythm passing game is something that seems to work a lot better for Randy Himes.
On replay, it does look, however, that the ball came out before he was down. Knee not yet down, ball out.
The ball was out before. The only question you might have here is whether the whistle was blown. If it was blown, it would have been a quick whistle. Comes out right there, and he hasn't touched the ground.
So unlike the NFL, there is no challenge, no replay. And Grambling keeps the ball. Himes scrambling for his life, throws it short and incomplete. Intended for Spears, but the pressure on Himes causing him to leave the pocket, and he threw it short. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. We have 10 minutes, 2 seconds left till halftime here at the Bayou Classic, with Southern leading Grambling 21-14. The Tigers 9-1 and the top-ranked black college football team in America, and hoping to break a 7-game losing streak at the State Farm Bayou Classic from the Superdome in New Orleans. broke on the ball and was off, but just couldn't hold on.
The ball was thrown late. The timing with receiver and quarterback was way off. Himes was ready to deliver the ball. His wide receiver, Spears, had not turned around, so he waited and double pumped, and that's when the defensive back, Williams, almost picked it off.
The true freshman Williams from Lake Charles, Louisiana, had it timed. Just couldn't hold on to the football. He is the second leading tackler in his true freshman season and has a couple of interceptions as well. 3rd and 10. Himes again is flushed from the pocket, then lost it. And a one-handed attempt made by Washington, but was he in bounds? Remember, in college, you only need 1 foot down. And they will rule that one incomplete.
Let me tell you what happened here. All right, Himes wanted his tight end across the middle. He wasn't open, so he rolls out, and instead of delivering the ball with a little more velocity to Washington, he lobs it up there, and Washington has no shot to make the catch before going out of bounds.
Did make a nice catch, but it was well out of bounds by the time he had the football. So Richmond will punt. And the deep man, Sean Overton, who's been one of the heroes for Southern here in the first half of play with 2 interceptions. Overton's just going to let that one go. Grambling's going to try to down it deep, and they do. Perfectly executed. The ball will be down at about the 1-yard line. Coming up between the 1 and 2. And they'll throw it anyway, right down the sideline. Some bumping involved, but incidental contact as Devin Lewis was streaking down the right sideline. Addison covering him for Grambling. And Levy has had almost 200 yards passing here in the first half.
And we talked earlier in the show, at the top of the show, about the trio of terrific linebackers for Grambling, and I'd like to know where Terrence Dukes, Robert Taylor, and George Guidry have been. They're certainly not getting pressure on the quarterback like they should.
Here's the handoff to Lewis. And Dane Lewis is tackled by one of those aforementioned linebackers, George Guidry, the transfer from Nebraska.
And he is the fastest, the biggest, and the hardest hitter. Guidry being the fastest, Taylor the biggest, and the hardest hitter, they say, is Terrence Dukes.
3rd down, and that is a first down. Did pick up a first down on the run. And here is Lewis again, and Lewis will have another first down as he is tripped up at about the 27-yard line by Marlon Williams. Penalty marker down late after Lewis ripped off another 15 yards.
Good job, Robert. Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense. 15 yards. First down.
So the personal foul will tack on 15 more yards. That'll be a 30-yard gain. And Grambling, which seemed to be in great position having down the ball at the 2-yard line of Southern, has now seen the Jaguars come out to the 48.
And watch what happens here. It's Walker who steps on Lewis at the end of that play for the penalty. And Tom, you're so right about they had a golden opportunity, Grambling did, when they had, you know, Southern in the shadow of their own goal post inside the 1-yard line. They let them out, and then a penalty, and now they're moving the ball, and they're out, almost at midfield.
Dane Lewis with another carry, tackled by Booker Williams. It's 2nd down and 6. Again, it's Lewis. And Lewis breaking tackles all the way to the 30-yard line. Tracked down by Calvin Spears and Calvin Pearson. But suddenly they found the running game, and Lewis with 26 yards on that one.
A little bit different philosophy. Southern soften them up with the pass game and then come with the running game later on. Kind of reverse, set them up with the pass, come with the run.
How many times you hear coaches say we're going to use the run to set up the pass? Pete Richardson's done it in reverse.
And you wonder if they're so weary and worried about the pass, the Grambling defense, that they're just not playing the run. It's a nice cutback right there by Lewis.
And Grambling has taken a timeout, as Dane Lewis already has gained 68 yards on 8 carries. We have 8:20 left in the second quarter, and Doug Williams trying to regroup his defense, calling that timeout.
Regroup his defense, which is one of the best in the conference. I mean, they're #1 in allowing points scored, and they're near the top in every other category. This is not a sterling performance for the Grambling defense, and Doug Williams should be worried.
Tigers down to their final timeout of the half. Well, 23 years after last suiting up for the Tigers, Doug Williams still holds most of the Grambling passing records, including most career yards and touchdowns. He finished 4th in the Heisman Trophy voting his senior season back in 1977. Earl Campbell won the Heisman that year, but there's Doug Williams. Went on to fame in the NFL and now back at his alma mater as head coach. Like the screen pass set up. And Hayes actually with the reception, and Terrence Dukes on the tackle for Grambling.
Terrence Dukes from his linebacker position showed a lot of speed, got out there in a hurry, or that play might have gone for a huge gain.
From the Grambling 31, first down for the Jaguars. Dances his way to the 15-yard line. And the free safety, Williams has to make the tackle. Dane Lewis carrying 5 times now on this drive.
Shocking ball control offense by Southern now. No one would have expected this.
Here's Lewis again from the tailback of the eye. That time Grambling stacks him up after a yard or so, knocking the helmet free. It was Booker Williams and Terrence Dukes.
Big hit at the end of this play, knocks his helmet right off. Didn't no one actually touch the helmet.
Ouch.
It was just the jarring of his body that snapped the neck, and the helmet came back off.
Ouch. Is right. Lewis, though, back there in the tailback spot of the I formation. Levy rolling to his right, shoots it to the end zone, but out of the end zone and incomplete. Intended for Devin Lewis. Penalty marker on the play. And the Jaguars applauding. Here's the call.
Dead ball, pushing the foul, defense, at the distance of the goal, first down.
Some of the Grambling players starting to lose their composure just a little bit. There have been a couple of personal fouls called against the Tigers. And that one will put the ball down half the distance, will be about the 8-yard line.
Pete Richardson and his offense now like a fighter going to the body, taking some of the juice out of that, highly regarded defense of Grambling, just running the ball right down their throats. Talk about making the play action in the passing game even better, Tom.
So spot the ball at about the 7-yard line. First and goal for Southern. Lewis grabbed around the ankles. And the tackle made after a short gain. It was Ronald Johnson that grabbed him, number 55.
And when you talk to the Southern players, they talk about this as being their championship game. They're 5-5 on the year. They're not going to the SWAC championship game as they've done so often under Coach Richardson. This is their championship game, the Bayou Classic, their last game of the year.
11th play of the drive. The drive, you'll remember, that began at their own 2, actually between the 1 and the 2, where Grambling had down to punt. Southern with a ball control. We haven't seen that. We've seen the quick strike. That pass incomplete, intended for Lewis, Devin Lewis. And defended by the linebacker Guidry. It's going to be 3rd and goal for Southern.
Situation like this, you might want to look for Michael Hayes, 6'5", loves the fade route, will go up and get the ball over the smaller defensive backs.
Levy, as always, from the shotgun. 3rd and goal from the 7. Pressure, swings it complete. Lewis shakes the first man, but not the second. Tackled at the 5 by Calvin Pearson. A touchdown-saving tackle on the swing pass to Dane Lewis. And the field goal unit will come out on 4th down.
Calvin Pearson is the one of the leading tacklers for the Grambling defense. He's an enforcer in the secondary. That time in the open field with a lot of space, made a good stop to stop the touchdown, as you mentioned.
So Justin Mattingly will attempt the field goal. 5 of 11, his longest 36 yards. This one will be about a 22-yard attempt. And the kick,
no penalty,
is good. I thought that Grambling was offside.
So did I.
And yes, now the flag is down. Just couldn't see it. Offside against Grambling. Pete Richardson says decline it and take the 3 points.
Exactly, because it would not have been a first down. It's only half the distance of the goal line in there. So, you know, he's declining it. He's taking the points. Not taking points off the ball. Good call.
Defense. That penalty refused. Field goal good.
So a long drive by the Southern Jaguars results in a field goal. And Southern now up 10, 24-14. The Southern band getting ready for that battle of the bands at halftime against their Grambling counterparts. Tom Hammond, John Dockery, Fred Rogan, Ahmad Rashad at the State Farm Bayou Classic. 5 minutes, 1 second left till halftime. 10-point lead for the Jaguars of Southern, who are about to kick off. Villagrana is ready to kick 2. Lloyd. And joined back there by Clay. And there's the kick. It's a squib kick that bounces, and Clay takes it on the hop. Finally pushed it down, spun down at the 45-yard line by the kicker, Villagrana. 36-yard return, and you think this game doesn't mean something to these two schools? Look at the emotion on the coaches.
Pete Richardson trying to avoid his first losing season in 8 years. Meanwhile, Doug Williams is trying to solidify that shift to power.
This means so much not only to the coaches, their emotions obvious, but to the players for bragging rights, and to the students and alumni as well. They flood New Orleans for this Bayou Classic. Randy Himes chased from the pocket, shoots it way downfield over the head of everyone.
7-year jinx that Southern, you know, has won the last 7, and Doug Williams was saying, wait, this is a new millennium. It's about time we, you know, scratch that 7-year itch and win one.
And Grambling would like to mount a Southern-esque comeback. What the Jaguars did last year when they were down 31-10 and came storming back to win their 7th in a row. Time of possession evened up a little bit after that long Southern drive, and the total yards in the Jags' favor. And just barely beating the delay of game penalty. Himes able to find Rashawn with a completion, but a short gain right around to the midfield stripe. Be about at the 49 and well short of a first down. So a big 3rd down coming up for the Grambling Tigers. They trail by 10, 24-14. Clock ticking down toward the 4-minute mark in the first half from the Superdome. Himes to the sideline, overshooting his intended receiver. Highshaw by a wide margin. And Grambling will punt. And for Southern, 3:57 is an eternity.
And if you make Randy Himes complete the difficult throw, he has problems. He was most effective when he was taking those easy throws over the middle. You force him to throw it deep out, and he has real problems. Doesn't have the finesse yet of a good throwing quarterback.
Lawrence Richmond will punt. And Joubert, the deep man for the Jaguars of Southern. End over end. Takes a Grambling bounce. Touched by a Southern player, but he's able to recover it. And that could have been a big turnover. Bridges touched it, but was able to recover. Southern again will have it deep.
Welcome back. Just another reminder that halftime is showtime at the Bayou Classic. Two of the best bands in the world will strut their stuff for the 2000 Bayou Classic Southwest Airlines Battle of the Bands. Now, whether you're young or old, big or small, you will be amazed by these bands from Grambling and Southern. They perform for presidents. They performed in TV commercials, at Super Bowls, and at NBA All-Star games. And today they will perform just for you. Southwest Airlines is proud to be the title sponsor of the Southwest Airlines Battle of the Bands. All that plus scores and highlights from our New York studio, plus an election update from NBC News coming up at the half. Now let's send it back to Tom and John. Maybe they can tell me, do we have a president yet?
Do we need one?
We're waiting.
We'll find all that out in just over 3 minutes at halftime as the Jaguars once again backed up deep in their own territory. Look to Dane Lewis on the run. Lewis now is up to 79 yards rushing on 12 carries and has scored a couple of touchdowns. And you see the numbers on Terrence Levy pulling the trigger in the passing game. Collared by Lewis. Devin Lewis takes it over the shoulder in front of Calvin Spears for 21 yards.
Perfect throw down the seam of that zone to the big receiver, 6'4". Boy, it's nice to have that kind of a target. Good throw.
Lewis, the New Orleans native, catching one in front of the home folks. And then back to the ground with Dane Lewis. No relation between the two. Robert Taylor makes the tackle from his middle linebacker spot for the Tigers. Clock shows 2:40 in the first half. Southern with the ball, leading by 10, 24-14. Red flags will fly. Actually, Levy called for the snap, and it was not forthcoming, so the timing was all thrown off, and it should be illegal procedure against the Jaguars.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. 5 yards. Just second down.
So it'll cost him 5 yards and make it second down. And it was Chad Green, I think, that moved prematurely, but actually Briscoe, the center, I believe, missed the snap count that time because Levy was calling for the ball. Penalties pretty even so far in the game, so second down and 13. Levy rolls. Man wide open is Lewis. No, excuse me, Joubert. And Joubert stopped after a short gain by Calvin Pearson.
You know, Levy was talking about this game and how important it is in front of the hometown, and he said his dad is here, Alfred, who is a high school coach at Forshea High School here in New Orleans. He said, hey, my dad's my biggest critic. I can do everything right, but he'll find a thing or two to criticize to try to help me to become even a better player.
Third down play, 3rd and 8 for Southern. Play again is stopped, and it might have been another false start by the Jaguars. At least that's what Grambling is saying, and Southern saying, nope, they just jumped off. We'll see with the call.
Dead ball. Ball False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, failed third down.
Indeed it is against Southern, and Pete Richardson's calling for a timeout. So Levy gets the timeout with 1:33 left in the second quarter. And Southern facing a 3rd down and 13. Well, tomorrow NBC brings you 2 great events on ice. First at 3 Eastern, it's the Holiday Skating Extravaganza hosted by Olivia Newton-John and starring Dorothy Hamill, Mannheim Steamrollers, The Christmas Angel. Then at 4 Eastern, ice and music come together as skating talents Elvis Stoico, Suri Bonale, and more team up with some of the hottest new musical talents in the State Farm Starskates Ice Jam. That's Mannheim Steamrollers, The Christmas Angel, followed by the State Farm Starskates Ice Jam coming up tomorrow only on NBC.
You're a skates guy, right, Tom?
Yeah, sometimes. That doesn't mean I'm skating. No, I broadcast them sometimes, John. Seeing me on skates would be quite a comedy.
I'll make no comments. You wonder if Terrence Levy's having some problems. It appears as though he may have changed the snap count, and it's causing problems for his offensive line because the center and the snap and the rest of the offensive line have not been in rhythm with the quarterback.
21-14, Southern with the lead. Levy's passed for 235 yards in the first half. And once again, we recall last year's Bayou Classic when Southern was down 31-10 and won the game 37-31.
It's going to be a different scenario this year. Last 2 years, actually, you know, Grambling was ahead only to lose both of those games.
So after the timeout, saw the play clock at 0. They should have reset it, and that's the hold up. There it's reset to 25 seconds.
Boy, Pete Richardson has actually slowed down the tempo of this game. He went to the running game with Southern just to make sure that he wasn't all pass, and the game has actually slowed down. Southern's lost some of their rhythm.
3rd and 13. Levy sacked. Back at the 21-yard line by the safety blitz in the form of Calvin Pearson. The Town Creek, Alabama native, along with Booker Williams, getting to Terrence Levy for the sack.
It's really the only way to deal with the fast break offense. Watch coming off the corner, number 3, right there, making the hit.
So Levi Washington will await the punt from Mattingly. Good punt. Mattingly boomed that one. Washington over his shoulder at the 15-yard line. Sometimes you can outkick his coverage. Washington was just about 1 man away from breaking it down the sideline, but again, the Southern special teams looking pretty good. The punt was 61 yards by Mattingly. Washington able to bring it back 10.
Washington, like a center fielder, taking that thing over his shoulder, the ball, and making the catch, and at least bringing it back 10 yards. It was one heck of a kick.
I think Mattingly likes kicking indoors.
Who wouldn't?
Mattingly sending that one 61 yards on the fly, and Washington caught it on the fly. No roll involved there. His longest of the season, Mattingly, 74 yards. So with 40 seconds on the clock, Doug Williams and the Tigers trying to mount a quick scoring drive if they can before halftime.
I think they're going to be content to just run the ball, run it out. They're going down 10 points. They have 1 timeout left, but I think Doug Williams simply wants to regroup, settle down his quarterback, Randy Himes, and trying to get this game back in control.
Michael Young carrying on first down, and apparently they're doing just what you said, just going to let the clock tick down. They will not have to run another play. And the final seconds will take us to halftime. Well, Southern began the game by quickly marching down the field, a 2-minute, 10-second drive, and then they showed us their quick strike capabilities on 3 different occasions. And then just to change things up, Southern marched from its own 2-yard line to get a field goal in that first half, showing us some ball control as well. So the Grambling State Tigers, who are 9-1 on the season, find themselves down 10 at halftime. Let's go down to Fred Rogan.
Hi, Tom. Thanks. Coach Doug Williams. Coach, you're behind in the first half. Southern came out very aggressively, pushed the ball down the field. What adjustments will you make?
Well, they did what they've been doing for the last 5 games, so we got to go in and make some adjustment, and maybe the tides will turn. Now we're going in behind for a change. You know, we've been leading twice in this Bayou Classic, but so we're going to go in and make some adjustment because they certainly moving the football. And we had opportunities. We just squandered them away, and we can't make the mistakes when we have to.
You know, we kept our eye on you during the ball game. You have been animated, to say the least, making your point with a number of your players.
Well, number one, when you make mistakes like that, you know, I don't mind the physical part of it. It's the mistakes that throw the football. All you got to do is throw it out there one time on the interception and touchdown.
All right, Coach, we'll see you in the second half. Thanks. Tom?
All right, Fred, Doug Williams and Grambling down 10 at halftime, 24-14 Southern. Back to New Orleans for the Battle of the Bands in a moment.
Shot here at the 27th State Farm Bayou Classic, where the halftime score is 24-14, Southern leading. Now, if you thought you were in for a run-of-the-mill halftime, you are mistaken. This party is just beginning. Right now, it's time for the Southwest Airlines Battle of the Bands. It's just about showtime for the band known as the Marching Band from Jaguar Land. Ladies and gentlemen, the Southern University Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? New Orleans, Louisiana, are you ready for the only marching band in the land? The Southern University Marching Band from Jaguar Land. The Southern University Marching Band is led by drum major Xavier Silky Slim Gerald. Show him some love. The band will now take you through a precision drill under the sounds of Go and Get Tough by Billy Ocean. chasing title. Get it on.
Another outstanding performance from the Southern University Marching Band. We'll have the Grambling Marching Band plus scores and highlights from our New York studio when we return after these messages from your local station. You're watching the Bayou Classic on NBC.
Relax, you're about to experience the most exciting time of your life.
Score at halftime, Southern 24, Grambling 14. Now time for part 2 of the Southwest Airlines Battle of the Bands. It's Grambling's turn to bring down the house. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grambling State University Tiger Marching Band.
Grambling fans, are you ready for halftime excitement at its best? It's the world-famed Tiger Marching Band under the direction of Dr. Larry J. Pennell. Now keep your eyes on the field as I introduce to you our dynamic drum majors. We have straight banging from Little Rock, Arkansas, Henry Akins. From Port-au-Prince, Haiti, by way of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, is Mr. Jules Nelson. And on the 50, we have the head Venezuelan in charge, head drum major, Andres Navarro from Caracas, Venezuela. Entering the field is the world-famed, high-stepping, show-stopping, mind-blowing, fly-stepping straight out of Grambling, Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, behold the black and the gold. You are an eyewitness to the band known as the Originators. We have set a standard of a band with class and a style of our own. Noted as the baddest band in the land by President Bill Clinton. Sure enough, that's the truth. music from Motown recording artist Profile, entitled Flyer.
It is the 27th annual State Farm Bayou Classic, where Southern leads Grambling 24-14. We'll be back to kick off the second half right after these messages.
Bayou Classic, Southern leads 24-14. And John, we talked about the potent Southern offense. We didn't talk about their versatility.
I know. First they came out throwing the ball. Big play to Michael Hayes, 86 yards, passing the ball well. Second quarter, they went to their running game. They're keeping Grambling off balance.
And ready to start the third quarter with Southern looking for its 8th consecutive win. And today's stats brought to you by Coors Light, Frost Brewed and Real Smooth. And you see that Southern with the edge in the stats as well on the scoreboard as they're ready to kick off to open the second half of play with Lloyd and Clay deep for Grambling. This is a high kick, and it will be Lloyd from the 5. And slips. Can't get back up in college. He'll be down at the 18-yard line as we check in with Fred Rogan. Fred?
Hi, Tom. Thanks very much. At halftime, Doug Williams' message to his club was short and not so sweet. Get your head in the game. Stop making mistakes. Pete Richardson, on the other hand, said stay focused. You remember last year, Southern came from behind to beat Grambling. I also asked him if he's going to keep the offense wide open, and he said we're the underdog. We'll do anything we have to win. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, they may be the underdog in terms of records, but boy, they looked like the dominant team in the first half, scoring on the quick strike and also with some ball control toward the end of the half. So the second half has been a drought for the Grambling Tigers, trying to end that string as well as the consecutive loss string of 7 in a row. Hines, his first pass is complete. He stepped up in the pocket, and Spears still digging nearly to midfield. He wouldn't be tackled. Ellis Spears, draggling Jaguars with him, goes for 30 yards. And Dries Brown finally got him down.
What a terrific effort by Spears, actually by Himes as well. He finds a hole in the zone. Spears doesn't. Watch him. 6'3", 190 pounds. Look at that balance. Puts his hand down, never touched his knee. Picks up about an extra 10 yards.
So the Zachary, Louisiana native, gets Grambling off to a good start, opening the third quarter with a 30-yard reception. To the tailback in the eye. That is Hill, Brad Hill. It's 3 or 4 yards before he's tackled by Michael Landry.
And Tom, you have to think that Doug Williams is going to look to try to find some offensive continuity, some rhythm, and you have to wonder if the 3-week layoff before this game that Grambling had maybe, you know, contributed to some of this. Interception, touchdown, interception, punt, punt, punt. I mean, they didn't have much offense in that first half.
And they trail by 10 with a 2nd and 6 from the Jaguar 47. High pass on target and complete to Spears again, this time on the other side of the field where he's covered by Lenny Williams. That one went for 12 yards and another Tiger first down.
Spears is a big play receiver with a lot of speed. I mean, his average per catch coming into this game was over 23 yards a catch. That one good for a first down.
It puts the ball at the 35 of Southern. As you see, that average per catch tops on the Tiger squad. And Grambling impressively moving down the field here to open the third quarter.
But in a relaxed fashion, the quarterback Himes seems to have it all under control at the moment.
From the shotgun. First down play. It's a pass. And it's incomplete, intended for Washington.
Just as well, because Eddie Woods, defensive back from Southern, had Washington well covered. Had that ball been thrown any other way, away, it might have been intercepted.
Himes on the day now, 12 of 24 for 189 yards. Has the touchdown, but also 2 picked off and turned into touchdowns by Southern.
Those interceptions, I mean, I think that's what made Doug Williams most angry in the first half. He had a couple of receivers deep for touchdowns. He underthrew the ball. It was intercepted.
Hill's in motion. Himes across the middle. Too high for Washington, incomplete.
I think you're being kind to Washington. It wasn't a perfectly thrown ball, but certainly Washington appeared to have a chance to catch that ball in the hole of the zone again.
Randy Himes, who again was a receiver on the receiving end of 2 touchdowns in last year's Bayou Classic. He had asked to be moved to wide receiver last year after growing tired of a backup role at quarterback. Caught 6 passes, including 2 touchdowns in the Bayou Classic. Now they have to burn a timeout here, facing a 3rd and 10 when we return to the Superdome. Southern leads by 10.
Farm Bayou Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Log on for low fares at www.southwest.com, a symbol of e-freedom. By Jeep Grand Cherokee with legendary off-road capability. By Coors Light, official beer of the Bayou Classic. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Look at Jackson Square there and the St. Louis Cathedral with the statue of Old Hickory. Andrew Jackson, the hero of the Battle of New Orleans, in front. And not far away, the Louisiana Superdome is always sold out for the State Farm Bayou Classic. Some of the fans still catching their breath from the halftime show. And here is a 3rd and 10 play complete to Anderson, who is tackled at the 30-yard line. Short of the first down by Francois, the linebacker. It'll be 4th down for the Grambling Tigers.
A choice for Doug Williams. Does he have faith in his quarterback to pick it up? Does he think he'll have more opportunities? Let's see what he does right here. I think he's going to go for it. No, he changed his mind.
And he'll send Richmond out onto the field.
You know, Tom, watching Richmond kick in practice yesterday, he hit one from 55 yards. The entire team clapped, gave him a loud round of applause, and he was very sharp yesterday in practice. See what he does here.
About a 46-yarder. His longest on the season is 42. This one will come up short. So Grambling looked good for a moment, but then the drive stalls, and they're still down 10. Levy and the Jaguars ready for their first possession of the second half. And the Grambling defense needs to hold them close. They don't know what to expect at this point. There's an airstrike, and the pass is complete on first down to Tony Ingram. And it's a gain of 30 yards.
30-yard gain. You have to expect Pete Richardson to come out and throw the ball a little more. Interesting stylistically. First quarter he came out. They were on fire. It was fast break, almost 200 yards passing. And then he went to the running game in the second quarter. But here I wouldn't expect him to go into his shell. He has to put some more points on the board to make sure this game is in the win column.
Torrey Ingram with that first down reception. Now they'll go to the ground. And the running play to Dane Lewis. Lewis approaching 100 yards rushing on the day. Begins the second half with 80 and gets a short gain on that one before he's tackled by Antoine Lawrence.
Look at the first half possessions for Southern. They came out touchdown, and they had that interception, then touchdown, one play, 86 yards to Hayes.
5-wide receiver set. Ingram again. Ingram makes a nice move to get free and then tackled at the 32-yard line by Robert Taylor and Byron Addison.
Nice balanced offense, Tom. You can run the ball the way they did in the second quarter, Southern, and now you can come out throwing it. I mean, that's what ideally what any offensive coordinator would want. Nightmares for defense when you're off balance the way Grambling, and they're one of the top defenses in the league. They're off balance the whole game.
So the racehorse offense again showing its versatility. As Levy just hung it up with the blitz coming, and Ingram uncovered takes it 32 yards for the touchdown.
Terrific call on 3rd and short, but in terms terms of defense, you should not bite on a situation like that. A mature defense does not go for this fake and allow the receiver Ingram to be wide open 8-10 yards behind, 5 yards behind the defensive back, the nearest defensive back, and get an easy touchdown. Can't have that.
Torrey Ingram with the touchdown, his second of the season. And now for the extra point. Mattingly sends it through. So Southern scores first in the second half to pad their lead. It's now 31-14.
Winston, what? Brothers, mothers, fam, what? My last one, I'm out. Like, whoa.
Okay.
A happy wide receiver.
Whatever language, it was a touchdown, and it's a 31-14 lead. Here's Lloyd on the kickoff return. No, excuse me, it's Clay, I believe. And he's to the 27. Maybe Fred could perhaps get a translation from Torrey Ingram on that last statement.
Hi, Tom. Thanks very much. Torrey, on that last play, it's 3rd and short. Did you know that Grambling would stack up and you'd be open?
Yeah, I did as well as my coach. We've been working on it all week, and we pretty much knew that if we loaded the box, they would too. And it was a perfect opportunity to get somebody out. And as you can see, we pulled one out of the basket, and it happened to work. So I just want to thank my Rabbit Dogs, a.k.a. the number 1 offensive line in the SWAC, as well as the number 1 receivers in the SWAC.
All right, good. You thanked your Rabbit Dog. Thanks a lot, man. Back upstairs.
I understood that. And now the Dog Day D of Southern University on the field. And Scotty Anderson has it broken up. He drew a crowd, and Sean Overton already has picked off 2. Had his hands on that one.
Almost intercepted, but interesting listening to Ingram, who had 2 touchdowns last year in the Bayou Classic. He's got 1 today, and defense should never go on that fake, Tom. I mean, you know, it's 3rd and short. A free safety should be back there. Someone should be back. You're not going to stop the play at the line of scrimmage. Grambling, a very poor play for them.
If Grambling is going to overcome that 31-14 deficit, they need to get something started on this drive. 2nd and 10 from their own 23. Anderson in motion. Himes chased from the pocket. Unloads it. Coming up on NBC a couple times today.
What was the #1 movie before Titanic? Was it E.T.?
I don't know. Yeah.
Titanic sound effects and the effects are incredible in that movie.
Third down and 10 for Randy Himes in the shotgun. Just got the play off. Pass incomplete through the hands of Spears. And another punt upcoming for Grambling.
This will show you the strength of Randy Himes' arm. Spears goes down. He's at the first down marker, just turns around, comes back, goes up for the ball. It's got a lot of juice on it. Can't hold it, but it certainly should have been caught.
Well, Doug Williams on the sideline, still puzzled. This is the #1 black college team in America. Record of 9-1. Their only loss was to the Conference USA champion, Division 1A Louisville Cardinals. They're headed to the SWAC championship game, but right now they trail their arch rival 31-14 as Richmond sends it on its way. Jobert got by the first wave and then is tackled hard at the 48-yard line with a penalty marker down. Robert Butler made a nice open field tackle for Grambling. 6-yard return of a 35-yard Richmond punt. Doug Williams doing a little step through passing instruction on the sideline. Follow through on that passing motion, he's telling Himes. It'll be against Southern.
You know, Tom, the record for Southern 5-5 is
But illegal block on the run back. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
They were 1-4 to start the season. Southern was. Second half of the season, they were 4-1, and that one loss was 50-49 to Florida A&M. So Richardson's team is a better team than their record would suggest by far. Plus, the change at quarterback in midseason was a huge difference.
Hand off to Lewis. Dane Lewis. A couple of tough yards. Tackle made by Willie Gray. As Southern already has exceeded its yardage total from last year's win in the Bayou Classic when they scored 38 points. They had 384 yards last year, already 386 today. And looking for more, Terrence Levy. Jobert, and tackled immediately. Nice tackle made by Addison. And it'll bring up a third down for Southern. Clock shows just under 9.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Southern opened the third with a scoring drive, and they lead it 31-14. Pass complete to Lewis, who scrambles for a first down. Devin Lewis gets the first down, catching it in front of Addison. And Southern still in business with the ball now at the Grambling 49-yard line. As you see some other scores, big rivalries this weekend, Tech and Georgia. North Carolina State beating Wake. And Syracuse. There's a fumble. Still loose. Picked up by Grambling. Calvin Pearson. And Grambling has it at the Southern 30-yard line.
You talk about something needed to light the fire of Grambling, and that could be a turnover. Defense finally gets it. And you watch a quarterback scrambling here, Levy. He's hit from behind. The ball comes loose, and then it squirts away.
That was Pearson that made the play all the way. Tackled him from behind, knocked the ball loose, and then scooped it up and took it to the 30-yard line where the Tigers have a scoring opportunity. Calvin Pearson making the big play for the Grambling defense from Town Creek, Alabama. Hazelwood High School, an all-stater in the state of Alabama, who had 200 tackles as a senior safety. And the second turnover of the day committed by the Jaguars.
Now to take an opportunity, to make it, capitalize on that turnover is critical. You're down 31-14. It's not panic time, but you have to prove that you can put some points on the board. Get too far behind, it's over.
Especially given an opportunity like this, starting at the Jaguar 30. Himes across the middle, deflected incomplete by the linebacker Fair, who was covering tight end Rashawn.
To the right side of your screen, that's Jamie Fair, who has had shoulder problems all year long. He recovers at the last minute. The ball a little behind the tight end Rashawn. Had it been thrown out front, that was a completion.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Meanwhile, Randy Himes, the Grambling quarterback, has thrown 4 straight incompletions. In the shotgun. Protection breaks down. Himes unloads it.
Really questionable. Where was the receiver?
The new rule in college football, if you're outside the tight end box, you can down the football without a penalty.
Let's see if he's outside that tight end box. I think you're probably right, Tom. It looks like it. I'd say just about, not by much.
There is a penalty marker on the play, and it was a late penalty marker, and Himes is going to be called for grounding. As he pointed up to the big screen, you couldn't see it, but Himes pointed to the big screen and said, I was outside.
And he was trying to say his receiver, Highshaw, was coming back for the ball, but he was much too far away. The ball wasn't even close.
Go ahead and lick a forward pass. Be third down at the spot of the foul. Third down.
I actually thought that was a legal play, but he's called for the penalty. And now Grambling in deep trouble. Already Himes has thrown 2 interceptions, 7 hurries, been sacked once.
2 interceptions. Yeah, critical.
And now it's 3rd and 17. It could be another opportunity gone astray for the Grambling Tigers, who on the fumble recovery had a first down at the 30. Now the ball is all the way back to the 37. Again, pressure on Himes, who slips and falls. The relentless pressure of the Dog Day D, the Southern defense, has caused Himes to completely lose his rhythm. It was Hurst that time bearing down on Himes.
Watch the left side of the defensive line. I mean, it's just coming from the outside right there. And it's, you know, that kind of pressure. You got to give credit to the defensive line, and the defense of Southern, they're playing well.
So, the Grambling Tigers taking a few wounds today. 4th down, the ball all the way back to the 39, so they lost 9 yards after having a first down at the 30, and now they'll punt. Richmond off the side of his foot and out of bounds.
Penalty.
And was he roughed?
I'd like to see that one again. It looked like an acting job by Richmond. Let's take a look at, here it is.
Damon Rogers bearing down. Did bump his leg.
He did brush him, and you can't touch the kicker, so.
Run it into the kicker. 5-yard penalty. Step 4th down.
It was the proper call, running into the kicker penalty instead of the roughing. And it gives Richmond a chance for a reprieve after shanking that punt. Doug Williams saying, pooch it, I think you said. Try to.
The right hand side of your screen. Turns to the side. If he did hit him, which I think he might have brushed him, it wasn't much, but right. You're right. Proper call. 4th down, about 18 yards, so they'll kick it away.
See if Grambling can down it here. Just missed that one. They downed a couple of them in the first half. But that one scoots into the end zone for the touchback. Southern will have it at their own 20 when we return to New Orleans. Jags up 31-14.
Rogan back in New Orleans with Stanford coach Tyrone Willingham, the winner of the Eddie Robinson State Farm Coach of Distinction Award. Coach, what does this mean to you?
Well, first of all, anytime you're associated with Coach Robinson and State Farm, it has to be a real honor, because Eddie is one of the living legends of this world. So for me, it is a tremendous honor to win this award.
What do you think of the game you're seeing today?
Well, it's been an exciting game. I think like most rivalries, you never know who's going to win, and I think the surprise team is winning right now.
Coach, thanks for your time and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back upstairs.
All right, Eddie Robinson, for whom the award is named, inducted into the Louisiana Superdome Hall of Fame before the game today. And Coach Willingham, in addition to his many talents as a coach, is a very caring individual. He really cares about his athletes at Stanford. We were impressed with that when we did the Stanford-Notre Dame game earlier this season, and a well-deserving winner of that award. Levy sacked on the play by Pearson. Calvin Pearson's been all over the field for the Grambling defense. They haven't had too many bright spots, but he's been one of them. And he sacks Levy back at about the 7-yard line.
Calvin Pearson coming off the corner, and if you are the Grambling defense, you have to take some chances and get some pressure on the quarterback. And that's exactly what it does here. Fights off the blocker real well. He's not real big. He's only 5'10", about 190, but he wards off the blocker, comes and gets the sack on Levy.
So spot the ball at about the 8-yard line and call it 3rd and 22. Levy's been sacked 4 times. His pass, hand made by Gilbert. Then he's immediately down by Ronald Johnson back in coverage. And so a 4th down situation now for Southern as the Grambling defense able to hold that time, and they should get the ball back in pretty good field position.
It's interesting, George Kidry was coming from his linebacker position, almost got to the quarterback, jumped at the last minute, Tom, and might have had a tip or knocked the ball away, but it went right through his arms.
Mattingly will punt it downfield. And there's Levi Washington awaiting the punt. hands and out of the end zone for a safety. Through Mattingly's hands and out of the end zone. It'll be 2 points for Grambling. And now they'll get the ball on a free kick.
The snap was high, as you see Mattingly talking about it's high, but even so, you have to come down with it. You practice this every day. See, the ball's high. It's up around his eyes and his helmet, and it just goes through his hands.
Looked like he was already looking to see where the rush was coming, and the ball sailed right through his hands. Well, Coca-Cola is proud to present the student athletes of the game. From Grambling State University, Coca-Cola honors number 44, Lawrence Richmond, their place kicker and punter. Richmond, a senior from Lanham, Maryland, holds a 3.5 grade point average in mathematics. And from Southern University, our Coca-Cola student athlete number 1, Troy Williams, junior quarterback out of Baton Rouge. Williams holds a 3.5 GPA in computer science. Congratulations to Richmond and Williams, our Coca-Cola student athletes. So 2 points on the board for Grambling, makes it 31-16. And now,
the important thing is they get the ball back, Tom, and they must make something happen. You know, Doug Williams doesn't have a lot of options at quarterback. He has to go with Randy Himes. The backup is Mays, and he's just not that confident in him. And he knows that Himes is either sink or swim with Himes.
Himes from Houston Hitchcock High School, hoping to rally the Tigers here, the top-ranked black college team in America. Mattingly's punt on the free kick. Taken by Clay. Looks for a block, can't get it. They stand him up at the 40 and drive it backwards with Eddie Woods first to arrive on the scene, a 19-yard return. So now Randy Himes will direct the Grambling attack here at the Superdome. Himes is 13 of 31, 194 yards, a touchdown, but 2 interceptions, and on a string at the moment of 5 straight incompletions.
Doug Williams is working with Randy Himes and looking off the defensive backs, especially the free safety. It's been a weakness in his game, and it's also been a weakness today as he floated 2 down the middle and they were intercepted by the free safety.
From the shotgun. And Anderson makes the catch, but not for much as Lenny Williams, the freshman, immediately wraps him up. Tremaine Douglas in at a wide receiver spot for Grambling now, as Anderson catches his 6th ball of the day, but he hasn't really been a factor.
He hasn't really, and he's been very quiet of late in the second half with 1 ball, and he just hasn't made it happen. He's a go-to guy for Grambling. He's got 9 touchdowns coming into the year, into this game.
2nd down, 5. Himes with a short drop, and then manages to elude 1 man. Cuts to the outside. First down. Nice run by Himes. Finally banged down in Southern territory at the 46-yard line. 9-yard scramble by Himes. Finally hit by Overton and Brown.
The extra dimension, you talk about it, if you're going to play football in the new millennium, you have to have mobility and size, and that's exactly what Himes has. 6'4", 200 pounds, strong, athletic, and here he picks up the first down on his own.
Picked up a good peel back block on the play from Douglas. First down at the Southern 46-yard line. 3:50 left, 3rd quarter. 31-16-7. Himes goes for the end zone, and Anderson can't get there. Double coverage with Brown and Williams right with Scotty Anderson.
Brown is a leader back there, Edrice Brown and Williams, and they're not going to give Grambling anything, a free pass. This time they're both back. I mean, Anderson does all he can to try to go over the top with his 6'3" frame, but he can't do it. And you see the height differential there, 5'9" Brown, but he's the captain of the team, and he's the leader in the heart and soul of that defense.
Himes now has thrown 6 consecutive incompletions. 2nd down and 10. wings this one and finally gets a completion to Levi Washington, who made a nice catch on the sideline, stretching out to haul in the ball.
And this is a nice throw across the field here. He set himself well. He followed through, as Doug Williams was talking about, and the ball is right where it should be. A good catch by Washington.
So finally, Himes able to get a completion after the long dry spell. And he's a yard short of the first down. It's 3rd and 1. Four wides on 3rd and 1. Sneak by Himes. And he takes it to the 27-yard line. Got even more than he needed and keeps the Grambling drive going. Francois finally tackling Randy Himes.
He is a rushing offense for Grambling. Look at this, right up the middle. A good block, as you mentioned, but Matevia right up the middle, and then Himes does the rest. Watch the center right there. Removes the nose tackle, and then Himes does the rest.
34 yards, including the 26 that Himes has picked up on the ground. First down pass. Chased. Got away from the rush. Now buys a little time and throws complete to Washington. Down to the 3-yard line. Davis nearly sacked Himes. Somehow he got away and made the completion for 25 yards, but now Washington limping off the field. He's been the most productive receiver for Grambling today.
Mays is all over him, goes up high, and the strength and athleticism of Himes allows him to and look at that. That's presence of mind. He's telling his receivers, downfield, downfield, I'll get you the ball. Gets a completion for the first down.
But Washington hurt, as we said. He had been the most productive receiver for the Grambling Tigers. And an injury timeout. Brown dragging him down by his jersey and then perhaps rolling the ankle. Washington bounced right up but never made it to the sideline, now being helped to his feet.
And it is that right ankle that they were checking. Kind of hobbled off, but he was protecting that right ankle. And then finally just couldn't do it anymore. It's time for Scotty Anderson to step up there. I mean, Anderson is very quiet. You know, Washington's been doing the job. He's out now, so it's time for Anderson to do it.
They'll send to Washington on the sideline. Meanwhile, the ball is at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal with 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 7th play of the drive coming up. Grambling trails 31-16. Hand off and Hill pounds straight ahead. Tackled by Kentrell Blatcher.
Scotty Anderson talking to Doug Williams on the sidelines, and looks like Doug is going to say, all right, I'm going to pound this in with my running attack and see what he tries here. Anderson would be the logical guy, a guy who had 15 touchdowns last year, 9 coming in today. Would be the logical choice down by the goal line.
Rodney Boudouin at 220 pounds, the lone setback. And Himes going to try to sneak it, and he didn't get in.
Very close.
Came away with the football, but Himes was already down.
He's got a couple of 300-pounders, actually 3 across the middle, a very, large offensive line for Grambling. When you look, Matevia at 318 in the middle, and Thomas at 300, and Riley at 300. That's a formidable bunch of beef up front, and he just tried to follow them in, but didn't make it.
Came close to breaking the plane of the goal line with the ball, but did not.
I'll give it one more shot to run right here, just right up the middle.
3rd and goal from the 1. Boudouin again is the only running back. Himes. And he pounds and can't get in, and flag down.
Looks like someone grabbed the face mask of Boudouin as he was going in. You see him snap around.
Blatcher, Mays, Davis up front, all stacking it up and threw Boudouin for a loss, but did they do it with a face mask? Here's the call.
Personal foul, face mask, at the distance of the goal, first down.
Take a look at it. He has a pretty lot of momentum, but once anyone grabs your face mask, there's no momentum left.
That was Reginald James that comes in now at a running back spot with Boudouin. And Boudouin pounding, turning, legs, pistons, and finally gets it across the goal line. It was a tough yard, but Boudouin finally got it in.
Boudouin is the bowling ball, 5'8", 220 pounds, and Tom, coming into the game, he was a team leader in touchdowns with 7, the natural choice to give to down there.
As you see, the 5th straight game, the honor student from Natchitoches says Mayonnaise to get it in. He was standing up the defenders that time, gave him a little time to get the legs churning and a head of steam, and he was standing up the defenders. Extra point coming up from Richmond. And it's good. Well, the Grambling Tigers trying to mount a comeback like Southern did last year. It's now 31-23. It was a productive sequence for Grambling. They get 9 points on the safety and then driving 60 yards for the touchdown.
And they are certainly back in this game, Tom. You're down by 8 points. I mean,
one score away.
Sure, one score away.
2-point conversion.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the end, coming towards the end of the 3rd quarter, so this game is very much in play.
That'll be up to their defense, as we have only 26 seconds left in the 3rd quarter as Grambling kicks off with Richmond. It's a short kick. It's going to bounce. Taken by Bates on the bounce and swarmed by white shirts. And he gets up wanting to fight now. That's going to we'll see if they're going to offset or not, but those could draw some flags. Byron Anderson was the man that first hit Bates. Doug Williams not happy.
Not happy at all. He's claiming that Bates was the one that initiated the foul.
Which I think he did, actually, as we watched it, but they don't call him Nemesis for anything. His first name is Nemesis.
Bates on the bounce, Nemesis.
First down at the 15 for Southern. Terrence Levy wings it down the sideline for Hayes. 37 yards with a defender hanging all over him. Calvin Spears covering Hayes on the play.
And Hayes will tell you that I'm going to get the balls up for grabs. I'm 6'5". I play basketball. I'm going to make it happen. What a nice catch. Calvin Spears, remember earlier, was victimized on an 86-yard touchdown when he tipped the ball.
Right. Michael Hayes now 4 catches, 148 yards. Levy completes to Jobert. And he's close to the 30-yard line. Tackled by Willie Gray. 17 yards on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Here goes Southern again, getting that offense cranked back up. We've completed 3 in the Bayou Classic. 31-23 Southern. We'll be back to the Superdome after these words from your local station. Grambling gained a little ground in that 3rd quarter. We begin the 4th with Southern leading 31-23. A couple of moments ago, we were talking about Nemesis Bates and maybe that he had been a little overzealous. Well, here's the reason why. 35 in white.
Right there. You see that punch thrown?
A sucker punch of Nemesis Bates, who reacted. No flags were thrown either way, but as you can see, it was
Byron Anderson
of Grambling who initiated the sequence. First play of the 4th quarter is a give to Dane Lewis and is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. As we look at our stats, brought to you by Coors Light, Frost Brewed and Real Smooth.
Not a real defensive struggle, huh? When Grambling has 315 yards, Southern 413 yards of offense.
Give Lewis a loss of a yard on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Levy scrambling, got away from one man. Here comes another. Dodged him as well, and then finally grabbed by the ankles and twisted down inside the 30-yard line by Robert Taylor.
You see Robert Taylor, shaking his head, and I'll tell you the guy who should be shaking his head is Terrence Dukes. I mean, the hitter at linebacker for Grambling. I mean, Levy made him look silly. Just went flying by, missed a tackle on the open field.
Now here's a 3rd and 8. 5 wide receivers in the formation. Grambling needs to hold to keep their momentum. Levy's in the shotgun. Now chase from the pocket. Levy throws on the run, and it's complete. Devin Lewis with the reception for 15 yards and a Southern first down as they convert a crucial 3rd down play.
Don't like the defense of Grambling. You have to put pressure on the quarterback. Grambling, sure, they did a stunt, but they only came with 4 men pressure. Here, Levy, presence of mind, finds his receiver, Lewis, and they pick up a first down.
Dane Lewis plowing straight ahead on first down.
Whoa, war going on outside here.
And a flag comes down. Michael Hayes was mixing it up with Chris Brown.
And boy, were they mixing it up. They were throwing punches left and right. Doug Williams is out on the field.
Things getting ugly here late in the Bayou Classic.
Credibility thing for Doug Williams. He's a 9-1 team. He's going to the championship game next week, and certainly this would be a blotch on that record if he should lose to Southern again, Tom, in the Bayou Classic.
We had illegal participation on the defense. 12 men on the field. We had a personal foul on the defense. Personal foul, offense. Both will be ejected.
Wow.
Now, if Hayes is ejected, that's a terrific blow to the Southern offense. If he is the man ejected. We see Brown, Chris Brown's coming out, number 19. And here is the scuffle, and it was Hayes locked up with Brown. So Brown, we know, has gone to the sideline.
There was more action in that sequence than what we just saw. Chris Brown, yes, obviously threw a ball, but Michael Hayes also let fly with a couple of bunches. And look at his 4 receptions, 148 yards, a touchdown. He's been the difference in this game for Southern.
Chris Brown disqualified. Now is Hayes going to join him on the Southern sideline? He's still out there.
It certainly would benefit Grambling. Obviously, if the best player on Southern's team is ejected.
I've been to a lot of these Bayou Classics, John, and there's always something, I tell you.
And I thought the halftime show was entertaining. Chris Hayes is going over to the sidelines. He's over there with Richardson, his coach, and an official, and they're having a conversation.
Hayes is trying to explain his version of events. saying no on the Grambling sideline, and Doug Williams, no doubt, is saying.
Well, Chris Brown is a backup safety behind Pearson, and obviously Michael Hayes is one of the best receivers ever to play the game at Southern. He has a single season record for receptions, averages over 100 yards a game, and this would be a huge loss for Pete Richardson.
Can somebody check and see if the officials are from Palm Beach County? They're having trouble making up their mind here. Well, in the final analysis, no one is happy. But the penalty should be severe for what occurred. And the guilty parties should be out. It's Hayes and Brown. And, of course, a greater loss for Southern. No question about that.
Brown smiling and looking in the stands. Not the attitude you want.
Meanwhile, the running play to Dane Lewis nets very little.
Boy, there's a lot of chippiness going on now. Guys pushing each other. There's a lot of bumping and shoving.
And the officials are very close to stepping in and really taking control of this game. Now they're going to have to really regain control.
You know, Doug Williams was talking about this game and said it's like a family feud, the Hatfields and McCoys. Everyone knows everyone. His sister actually went to Southern, so this is really important for the bragging rights of the state. And also, Doug would like to get off a 7-year schneid losing.
Meanwhile, it's second down and goal from the 9. Levy's pass is down and a vicious hit by Pearson after Gilbert had made the catch. Now Grambling came into the neutral zone where they'd drawn. We will wait for the call as Hayes cools his heels, having been ejected from the game.
But you get a sense this game is picking up in tempo.
It'll be offside against Grambling.
Offside, defense, after this is a goal, second down.
Not a Mona Lisa, but you can feel the intensity of the players and how much this means. I mean, Pearson and Spears just laid out the receiver when he caught that ball.
Put the ball at the 4-yard line. Second and goal. Pass to the end zone. Deflected, incomplete. Third down coming up.
Cornerback Calvin Spears took away the inside, is what you're supposed to do in a situation like that. You can't just allow the receiver, Lewis, to run inside and catch a quick slant. Good play by the defensive back.
So third and goal from the 4-yard line, and Levy operating without his go-to receiver, Michael Hayes, who has been ejected from the game. Short of the goal line is Ingram. Torrey Ingram, who scored a touchdown earlier, stopped a yard short, and now Pete Richardson, does he go for it? Does he kick the field goal? He leads by 8. Go for it, he says.
He says go for it. Boy, talk about confidence. If he kicks the field goal, it's 34-23. 11 points. Obviously, a touchdown would put him in better stead, but I'm not so sure here. Doesn't have a big running game.
Football's on the 1-yard line. Fourth and goal. Stopped.
Tom, he doesn't have that big bull of a back. Lewis is only a little over 6 feet and 205 pounds. Boy, Grambling defense just stuffed him. Big lift for Grambling.
Robert Taylor knocked him backwards. Goal line stand by the Tigers.
State Farm Bayou Classic is brought to you by Tampax. Tampax, the revolution continues. By National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. By Coca-Cola Classic. Enjoy the holidays. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to New Orleans. This look behind the scenes at the Bayou Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Southwest Airlines Battle of the Bands. Now, one of the many Bayou Classic traditions is the Friday night pregame Battle of the Bands and fraternity sorority step show here at the Superdome. Here's a little taste of what the attendees got to see. That the best athletes on both these campuses are in the band. I was at the step show last night, and I think they're right, Tom.
All right, Ahmad. There was some fancy footwork indeed. And a crucial part of the game here now. The football just football length away from the Grambling goal line as they take over after that goal line stand. Now have to punch it out.
And that's the silver lining for Pete Richardson on that call, that the ball is on the 1 foot line. And his defense, if they can stuff Grambling, will get great field position.
Well, the goes on Hines, throws behind to Scotty Anderson and incomplete. He just rushed it. He was in such a hurry, and of course he's been harried all day by the Southern defense.
I wouldn't say he was so much harried that time.
No, not that time.
Yeah, poor rhythm. Take a look at his rhythm right here. It's just a 1-2 and throw. Anderson is open, and the ball just poorly thrown behind him. No shot.
Numbers on Hines, who faces a 2nd and 10. Surveys the defense. Another short drop. This one too high over the head of Scotty Anderson. I have no time, you could almost see him saying. And now it'll be 3rd down and 10.
2 very poorly thrown balls from his own end zone, Randy Himes, and some of that is just jitters and nerves.
Only 6 of 15 in the second half is Himes. Once again intended for Anderson. Landry Francois, the linebacker, was able to knock it to the turf.
And you know what he's doing, Tom? He's looking right at the receiver from the moment he goes back to pass. He's trying to wait till Anderson gets by the linebacker, but there are 3 blue shirts there waiting for Anderson because they know he is the preferred target. Meanwhile, he had a player in the flat he might have completed to and gotten the 1st down.
Francois made the play. And now the tough task falls to Richmond, who punts from the back of his end zone. Can't step over that back line. That'll be a safety. Grambling trails by 8. And they were a man short just now racing onto the field. It'll cost them delay a game. That's about 2 inches.
Is this the smallest penalty in history?
Delay, extra distance, step 4th down.
Now, Tom, you could continue.
I think he missed it by about an inch.
You could continue to take penalties here for infinity, and you still wouldn't get in the end zone, right? Boy, is he back. Look at those heels near the back. He steps back. It is a safety. Better be a good snap.
See someone come after him. Jumping around up front. They have the return on. It's a high kick, not very far. End over end. Which way will it bounce? Southern's way. And Grambling scrambles to down it. At about the 22-yard line, it will go as a 22-yard punt. Richmond's pride might be hurt more than anything.
Grambling punter Richmond gets the Thespian Award for his performance here. Oh, keep that foot out there. Oh. And it's funny. See the ref smiling on the right of your screen there. And what did Fred say?
And shaking his head no. And Fred said the referee said, nope, not this time. You remember earlier there was a running into the kicker penalty, but Richmond didn't get the call that time. As Lee Smith, there's the referee shaking his head. Lee Smith gets a carry for Southern as they take over.
Not only did Richmond not get the call and go through that whole acting sequence, but he walked off the field. He limped off the field to really finish off the scenario. Oh, my.
Smith lost a couple of yards. It's 2nd down and 12. He's in the gun. For the end zone. And he led Lewis too far. It's incomplete. Devin Lewis covered on the play by Spears. Calvin Spears with him stride for stride.
And that's where they miss Michael Hayes, ejected a few moments ago for fighting. Those are the kinds of plays he goes to the end zone and goes up and gets him with a 6'5" frame.
Southern closing in on that per game average that leads the conference with 10 minutes 37 seconds left in the State Farm Bayou Classic. Hayes on the sideline, ejected from the game. 3rd down and 12. Again, Grambling needs a stop. They trail by 8. Levy pressured a bit, and no one home. It'll be intercepted. The interception made, and the touchback after Spears picked it off.
If you're going to do that, Tom, you got to throw it out of the end zone because you have a field goal shot to put you up by 11. Right now, you're only up by 8, and a touchdown and 2-point conversion ties. Instead, he just simply throws this ball up for grabs. He's looking for the takeoff on the outside. An easy interception for Spears, who has been victimized a couple of times today, but by Michael Hayes, who was on the sideline.
Calvin Spears was on it all the way, and to be fair, the first one he deflected, that went for the 86-yard touchdown. He had good position and deflected the ball. It just took a fortunate bounce for Hayes, and he took it all the way in. So the Grambling defense once again does its job. It gets the ball back to the offense, this time with a little room at the 20-yard line. And Himes on 1st down. I don't know where, sort of in between two receivers. Spears closest. That's Ellis Spears. And Himes with that scowl that he's had much of the game.
Himes just out of his rhythm. He just can't get anything going. And of course, Grambling not much of a ground team, so they have to make it happen through the air, or else not happen at all.
Notre Dame leading USC by 7 in Los Angeles, hoping for a BCS bowl if they win today and finish 9-2. Himes pumps once and then is smacked hard. Blatcher wrapped him up with a bear hug and took him down at the 16-yard line.
Southern defense has been much maligned during the year. Actually, earlier in the year, they were hurt. Today, they've made some big plays. Of course, Himes holding that ball. He pump fakes. And look at the defensive line is just dominating the offensive line now.
Actually, Blatcher got an early Thanksgiving present there. He said, or a late Thanksgiving present. He said, look what I found, as Himes ran right into his arms. Instead of a big turkey, he got himself a big quarterback and took him to the turf, making it 3rd and 14. Screen pass. Anderson lost it. I think it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. He never had control. Tried to one-hand it and couldn't hold on. And the Grambling offense sputters again.
Scotty Anderson is so smooth and so confident. This is just something a natural athlete would do. He puts up his right hand. The ball's thrown behind him, and he just fully expects to pull it in. I don't know whether he would have had a first down. Probably would have been short, but the idea was good. I mean, the screen over the middle, the execution was poor.
So Gilbert awakes the punt of Lawrence Richmond. As Exacting sort of overtook me there for a moment. Jobert with a fair catch at the 48-yard line. A 32-yard punt. And we'll take a break. Clock shows 9 minutes, 20 seconds left in the State Farm Bayou Classic. Doug Williams with some instruction for his quarterback, Randy Himes. At one point in that sequence while we were away, Doug just put his hand on his quarterback's shoulder and smiled and gave him a benevolent look. I want to destroy his confidence with 9 minutes left in the game. Terrence Levy, his Southern counterpart, pulls it down and ducks out of bounds with a flag flying in short of the 40-yard line. That might be the best Southern rush of the second half. They are minus 34 rushing in the second half.
And yet in the second quarter of this game, they were dominant on the ground as they went away from their passing game.
Holding, offense, 10-yard, stay up first down.
You know, Tom, Southern's Pete Richardson, as you're looking there, would love nothing better to obviously win this game, because then he would have beaten the Eastern champ, Alabama A&M, and the Western champ, Grambling, who play next week in the SWAC championship. So that would be a feather in his cap. Not a great year for him, but that certainly would give him some more credibility, and look forward to next year when they should have a great team.
Levy, the quarterback draw, slips down at about the line of scrimmage. So once again, the Grambling defense is trying to get their team back into the game. They have brought up, as you see, Levy's production in the first half versus second half. He's hit 12 of 15, but smaller chunks of yardage. And it's second down and 13.
And if I'm the coach now, I tell him to be careful and don't throw any floaters over the middle that can be intercepted.
Rifles that one, and it's complete. Devin Lewis makes the catch in front of Spears, who immediately takes him down. It'll be a little short of first down yardage and bring up a third down.
That was a good play by Spears. He just made the tackle to prevent the first down. He's a 3-year starter, Calvin Spears, knows the game. He's had some tough breaks today trying to cover Michael Hayes.
They're down at 4.
Got to press the receivers.
Pass caught. Jobert. Flag down. And it's ruled Southern's ball. Troy Ingram, I think, the man that fell on the ball. 18-yard gain. And Southern converts a big third down.
What I was about to say, I mean, Pete Richardson tells his quarterback just to read the triangle. The cornerback, the free safety, the linebacker. That's all he's doing. Keep it simple. See the one that is open and get the ball there in a hurry. I don't understand why Grambling's defensive backs aren't pressing the receivers and not allowing that short throw.
I thought I saw a penalty flag, but apparently not. Here's quarterback draw. Levy stopped in his tracks for a loss. Walker made the hit for the Grambling defense, once again trying to hold Southern out of the end zone, but time starting to become a factor with 7 minutes 20 seconds.
Time is a factor, and you know, this is just trying to get a quarterback draw and try to steal something. No space up the middle. If I were the defense of Grambling now, I'd come with my linebackers. I'd tell my corners, get up and press the receivers. I'd tell my safeties to move up. This is a short, compressed field. Take some chances.
2nd and 15. Pass complete. Jobert immediately hit by Williams. It'll bring up another third down. That one only got about 3 yards. Third down and 12.
Challenge the quarterback, Tom. Challenge him to pump and have the time to pump and throw. And, I mean, if you press those receivers and he can't throw the ball right now, he's got to hold it a while longer, and you have to hope the rush will get to him.
Levy on the day has hit 28 of 38, 423 yards. The Grambling linebackers, including Robert Taylor, trying to put some pressure on. Could have been a false start.
Delay.
Nope, delay a game.
5-yard penalty. Still third down.
So it'll cost Pete Richardson's offense 5 yards and make it 3rd down and 17.
Terrence Levy a little bit worried about the linebackers who were edging up, especially Robert Taylor in the middle. It looked like he might have been coming on the blitz.
They're down 17. There are the penalties. 10th one against Southern. Levy across the middle. Nobody there. Ball drops to the turf. Incomplete. And it'll be 4th down.
It's interesting. They dropped Willie Gray, the tackle, off that time and brought the linebackers in kind of that zone blitz defense. A little confusing for the quarterback.
Probably out of Mattingly's range. It would be about a 47-yard field goal.
Watch a tackle in the middle of the screen right there, number 74, drop off to help in pass coverage as they try to confuse the quarterback by bringing some linebackers.
It was Willie Gray that dropped off in coverage as Mattingly will not try a field goal. He will punt. At least they line up in punt formation. And Spears is back at about his 5-yard line just in case. Try to do the coffin corner kick. And it angles out of bounds. Let's see where they set the angle of the kick, where it left the boundary. And once again, Grambling will have a chance on offense when we return. 23, Southern leads Grambling in the State Farm Bayou Classic. 5:58 left. And another chance for the Grambling offense. They've been presented several chances, albeit deep in their own territory. And on first down, Anderson, of all people, coughs one up. Himes was right on target. And the all-time leading receiver at Grambling drops an easy one in the clutch.
He holds just about every record. This is just a turn in. The ball is delivered right on time. You know what he did, Tom? I mean, he didn't use his hands at all. He let it hit the 1 on his jersey and bounced off. I'm surprised to see Scotty Anderson.
Only 6 of 20 for Himes in the second half. He's thrown 6 straight incompletions, but that one was not his fault.
And Scotty Himes is a guy who's going to the Senior Bowl. The pro scouts like him. He's got good size. He's a smooth, a good receiver. Boy, that's just a mistake.
Scotty Anderson. Here's Himes, pumps once, has plenty of time, lays it up down the sideline for Anderson, and this one takes away from the defense. He took it right away from Lenny Williams. There's the Scotty Anderson that Grambling fans have seen play and make catches like that. 46 yards.
And a sign of a good athlete being able to come back. Not the best throw you've ever seen. It was thrown inside. Defensive back actually had a better shot at it. But watch Anderson just come in and take it away right there. Beautiful play by Anderson.
And the Grambling faithful say that's more like it.
Lenny Williams actually had the best shot at a defensive back, and just Anderson came around and took it away.
First down, Grambling at the 40-yard line of Southern. 5 minutes, 17 seconds, and a timeout taken.
Timeout. Grambling.
So Grambling calls the timeout, stopping the clock at 5 minutes and 14 seconds. And tonight, NBC's Thanksgiving Weekend Spectacular continues. Steven Spielberg's blockbuster hit Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park tonight at 8/7 Central, only on NBC. One of those movies that you can see time and again and still be entertained.
I actually saw it the other night in surround sound, and boy, it felt like, you know, oh, they were coming from everywhere, those dinosaurs. Where's those raptors coming from?
That's kind of the way that Randy Himes has felt most of the day, with the Southern defense coming from all sides and surrounding him. But if he can direct this clutch drive, it would all be forgotten.
And all is said and done, they have a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. This game is tied and possible overtime.
Still a ways to go till we get there, though, with a first down at the 40-yard line of Southern. 31-23. Pete Richardson and the Jaguars leading. Hines in the shotgun on first down. No pressure this time. He tries to throw it on the run, and is it a catch or is it out of bounds? Still waiting. Looks like a catch. Was that Spears? Yes, on the sideline.
Well, I just assumed that ball was going to be out of bounds.
Now they say no. Now they say no.
He was way out over there.
Actually, the official, I think, closest to it ruled it a catch. Mark the spot.
He's got all the time in the world because they only have 4-man rushing, and the defensive line's getting tired.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. And they decided to put in 6 defensive backs and rush with 4, keep 1 linebacker in there. So they're trying to switch up and get the best of both worlds.
This time Hines running for his life, got away from a shoestring attempt, threw an interception, and it bounces into a Grambling man's hands. Levi Washington, who left the game with an injury earlier, has it for 13 yards after Overton nearly had his 3rd interception of the game.
Do you believe in fate, that things are somehow meant to happen? I mean, Randy Himes has had a miserable game. Let's be truthful about it. This ball is thrown over the middle behind, and Overton has it in his hands, and it bounces up in the air. Who comes down with it? Washington. And another first down for Grambling.
Overton nearly had his 3rd interception, instead a 13-yard gain. Here it is. Remember, in the first quarter, a tipped ball by Grambling resulted in a Southern touchdown. So a little turnabout action. Washington's had a big day.
Huge day. But I mean, that's throwing it, Tom. You're running to the far sideline. You're throwing across your body. And yes, Himes does have a strong arm, but you just can't do that over the middle. There's too many bodies flying across the field. And that time, Overton had a clear shot at an interception.
You like offense? We've had 841 yards of total offense today. 471 Southern, 370 Grambling.
Let's go for 1,000.
Himes will be off for that. We got some of it right there with another strike to Washington. He's slammed down at about the 17 by Francois Fair in the middle of the field. And Washington making that tough catch, holding on, knowing he's going to get whacked. And the clock ticking down toward 4 minutes. And Grambling driving.
Just an easy throw for the quarterback. Just go out, hook over the middle, and let him deliver the ball in a hurry. Don't give him a lot to think about.
Ball's at the 17 of Southern. It's his 3rd interception of the game, and he has it out to the 15-yard line. Another tipped ball, this one into the hands of Sean Overton.
Himes tried to force the ball into the middle. Receiver was covered. The only thing I thought might have happened might have been pass interference on the play, but no, Washington, the ball's tipped up in the air. Overton, as you mentioned, in the end zone, picks it off.
Actually, a ball that Washington probably should have caught. Turnover. Southern will have it. With 3 interceptions in the Bayou Classic, the last one huge as it stopped a Grambling drive. And irony of ironies, a couple of plays earlier, it was off the hands of Overton into the hands of Washington. That time the other way around, off Washington's hands into the arms of Overton, and the turnover. First down, the run by Jeremy Williams. As Southern wants to work on the clock here, and the Grambling defense has but one task. It has to be 3 and out.
3 and out with 1 timeout left. They can get the ball back, and if they stop them here, they'll have reasonable field position.
Terrence Levy has his team up the line of scrimmage and will milk every second he can from the play clock, which is down to 3. Got the play off at just the proper time. And staying in bounds to keep the clock running as they move it on the ground with Jeremy Williams. Levy has passed for 425 yards. Himes for 300. But the 3 interceptions, the first 2 converted into touchdowns. The last one might have prevented a Grambling touchdown, though again it was a tipped ball that was picked off.
Randy Himes had some yardage numbers, but you're right, it was a very poor performance by the Grambling quarterback. Game's not over.
2 minutes 18 and counting. Stopped at the 20, and so Grambling defense does its job. Jeremy Williams again on the carry. And the clock coming to the 2-minute mark. Grambling could use one of those NFL 2-minute warning timeouts, but not so in college football.
They have 1 timeout left, Tom, and I think they'd want to call it, fairly quickly.
Levi Washington, who's been one of the stars of the game for Grambling, is set to receive the punt from Mattingly. Once again, milking the shot clock, the play clock. Shot clock's bad. And they will. They'll take a delay of game penalty.
They took a timeout.
Just before the penalty with the play clock down to 1 second. They call the timeout.
Southern, the first timeout.
Good clock management by Pete Richardson and his staff. And so the game clock shows 1 minute 25 seconds.
And they should get the ball on theirs, at least close to the 50, or maybe even on their side of the 50. And then you just have to get your hurry-up offense going, use your timeout, and get the ball to Scotty Anderson. Throw it up there. Anderson's got good jumping ability. He's 6'3". See if he can either get a penalty or get a catch.
Mattingly will punt to Washington. Washington, whose dad, Levi Sr., played at Grambling and then coached Levi at McCall High School in Tallulah, Louisiana, where Levi was an all-state football and basketball player. He's been one of the stars of Grambling today, and a big return here could be instrumental in the outcome of this game. Mattingly ready to punt. Low punt.
Oh, no.
Washington's going to let it bounce. Takes a Southern bounce. And it'll be down at about the 38-yard line. A 42-yard punt by Mattingly on the roll. It looked like Washington probably should have come up to field that ball before it bounced.
Absolutely. I thought he was too deep to begin with. He wasn't going to punt it 50 yards, 55 yards. He was way too deep. Should have grabbed that ball and gotten something out of it. And now look at the field position. 38-yard line. Doug Williams just has to go. Okay, his quarterback has to, become unconscious. Randy Himes just has to say, I'm going to make it happen. Get it to Anderson. I mean, he's got some good receivers. You mentioned Washington. He's got, he's got Anderson. He's got Jesse. He's got some receivers. Spears.
Anderson in the slot at the top of the screen. 1 timeout. Working the sideline, deflected, intended for Washington, and Eddie Woods deflected it, incomplete. 1:07 on the clock.
I don't know if I wouldn't take one good shot, I wouldn't rule out a good shot over the middle for maybe 30, 40 yards, and then use my timeout in that situation. Because obviously the defense is expecting you to work the sidelines, but might cross them up and use that timeout if you get a big gainer over the middle.
Down play from Hine. Completes the pass, but
no.
Highshaw turned into the field instead of to the sideline. It goes for 17 yards.
Exactly right. Should have gotten out of bounds.
Should have turned the other way toward the sideline. Clock stops to reset the change. Now restarts. Again works the sideline, and same thing. Highshaw again turns into the field. Clock will stop on the first down, 15-yard gain, but it restarts. You have to be up there ready to go. Ball's at the 30-yard line.
Highshaw, do the same play and tell Highshaw this time, okay, they're going to use their timeout. Wait a minute. Himes said he didn't call a timeout.
Timeout. Grambling, that final timeout.
So they used their final timeout. Again, Highshaw turning into the field instead of to the sideline where he could have stopped the clock. He did it twice in a row, and it forces them to use their final timeout. You see him shaking his head as Doug Williams is telling him, forget about that extra yard, turn to the sideline and stop the clock.
Get out of bounds. And Randy Himes was talking to the official before he left the field and said, hey, I didn't call that timeout. I don't think it's the worst thing to do, by the way. They need to regroup, get a couple of plays called. They're on the 30-yard line, Tom. We're talking about 45 seconds left. You can get, 4 plays off easily.
And while we have a moment, let's look at today's State Farm players of the game. From Grambling, Levi Washington, the receiver who had a big day. And from Southern, their quarterback Terrence Levy, who passed for over 400 yards. There they are. Levy, 425 yards, and Washington, 8 receptions, 148. First down play. Himes for the end zone, intended again for Highshaw, and Terrence Arnold deflects it incomplete. There were 2 Southern defenders on the play, bracketing Highshaw.
Well, they're hoping Highshaw, who's 6 feet 4 inches tall, can go up and get it over the smaller DBs.
So they took a shot at the end zone on first down. Now 38 seconds left. Himes has passed for 334 yards, a touchdown, 3 picked off.
Everything does not have to be to the end zone. There's enough time to pick up some yardage and then take your shots at the end zone.
5 wide receivers, and that will be illegal procedure, false start against Grambling.
Dead ball, false start, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So since it's a dead ball, false start, they should put 3 seconds back on the clock. There were 38. I don't think anyone's...
They're not doing it, yep.
Well, it cost Grambling 3 seconds. Himes is going to run. He can't throw now. He's got to get out of bounds in a hurry. He does. 26 seconds left. He was beyond the line of scrimmage. He was committed to the run.
Picks up 4 or 5 yards, Tom, and makes the throw a little bit easier, a little less reaction time for the DBs. He's still got a couple of plays left. Third down.
It's got to be to the sideline or to the end zone.
Get to the sideline, get there. Oh my goodness.
Well, the clock will stop now on the first down. They've got to get up and spike the ball. 22-yard gain, first down inside the 5. They've got to get to the line and spike it.
Exactly what Doug Williams is saying. Get there. 15 seconds left.
Clock restarts as soon as the chains are set. Restarts now. And there's the spike. Stops it with 11 seconds. But you can't relax now. Remember, the play clock is still in effect here. There's not like a timeout. They're walking around like they've got a lot of time. And the 25-second clock starts right now.
Exactly right. The game clock doesn't start, but the 25 seconds is already down to 15 seconds. I mean, you're right, Tom. Now it's down to 7 seconds. He's going to have to rush it.
Play clock at 2. Just got it off. Toss it to the end zone. Touchdown! Scotty Anderson.
Oh my, oh my.
7 seconds left. Now they don't have time to go take a timeout and call a play. They've got to go back and regroup for a 2-point conversion.
Just a little slanted from watch on the outside of the screen. It's Anderson coming over the middle, uses his body in front of the defensive back, Lenny Williams. Touchdown, Anderson.
The play clock already is at 15 seconds and ticking. They've got to get the two-point conversion. They do not have a timeout.
Anderson, meantime, is waving to the crowd to come with some cheers. Forget that.
Two-point conversion to tie. Hines. Got rid of it. Intercepted. This is Edreese Brown. This could be 2 points. It doesn't matter. Being chased by Scotty Anderson. And he will take it in, I believe, but it's academic. What a finish. Hines appeared to be sacked, unloaded the football, and it was intercepted by Edreese Brown, the leader of the secondary for the Southern Jaguars. This game is unbelievable every year. There are penalties down, and the game cannot end on a defensive penalty.
And they still have 7 seconds on the clock. That's a mistake.
How important was Highshaw not getting out of bounds and having to use that final timeout? Because they could have scored. They could have called timeout to plan a two-point conversion play.
And the clock doesn't run on the two-point conversion. You're right.
That ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. On 7. That ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. Celebration in the end zone. They were all set.
Williams tipped it. Brown gathered it in and set sail for the other end.
Scotty Anderson made a valiant effort, but he didn't have his receiver open right away. He did whatever he could. Himes said, you might as well throw it up. Who knows? Maybe you have a chance of a tip, but no dice. As Edreese Brown, the captain of the Southern team, gets the interception. You talk about a jinx. I mean, this is the 8th year in a row that Southern will beat Grambling in the Bayou Classic. Pete Richardson has yet to lose, and yet he came in as an underdog here, a 5-5 team against a 9-1 team of Doug Williams, and they're going to come away with a win.
And a valiant comeback by Grambling may fall for naught. Wow. This game's never ceased to amaze me. Year after year after year, they are the wildest things you have ever seen. Let's go to Fred Rogan.
All right. You electrified this crowd. Talk about what happened in the end zone when you grabbed that ball and took off.
Well, look, it was just a great play by the defensive line. Good drop by the linebackers. When the ball was tipped in there, we just practiced the tip drill. When the ball came down, I got ghost with it.
Did the field get longer with every step? You were moving.
I was moving at first. By the time I hit that 30, and Barry was on my back. I give thanks to our God. We went out to see and we won this Bayou Classic, baby.
All right, thanks a lot. Tom, back to you.
That bear was on his back. I know that feeling. And he did rack up 2 points, returning the conversion, making it 33-29 with 7 seconds left. An unsportsmanlike conduct against Southern is going to make them kick off. Make the kick come from the 50-yard line, but as we said, purely academic at this point.
Onside kick, they recover it, quick throw to the end zone, touchdown, they win. No, okay. Doug Williams is going to have a tough time getting his team up for next week's SWAC championship game. Wow. This is a very, very disheartening loss. It came all the way back and they just couldn't tie it.
The onside kick attempt. And the final seconds, the Gayen falling on the ball for Southern. And that'll do it. All they have to do is kill the final 3 seconds. So the great comeback by Grambling, scoring a touchdown to pull within 2 with 7 seconds left. And then the 2-point conversion. Edreese Brown taking the interception all the way for 2 points. You don't have to be a fan of Grambling or Southern. You can watch this game every year and be entertained. Wow. And there it is. Southern has won its 8th straight Bayou Classic, holding on to beat the favorite Grambling Tigers 33-29. Pete Richardson now 8-0 in the Bayou Classic. Grambling falls to 9-2. Southern goes to 6-5. And the Grambling comeback fell just short. Again, the final score from the Superdome, Southern 33 and Grambling 29. Tune in tonight as NBC presents Steven Spielberg's blockbuster movie hit Jurassic Park. That's coming your way tonight at 8 p.m., 7 Central Time. So for Ahmad Rashad, John Dockery, Fred Rogan, Tom Hammond saying so long from the State Farm Bayou Classic.